We're live? We're live, you say? Believe it or not, they're saying we're live.
Are we live? Yeah, I was at Drake's crib this weekend doing charts.
Oh, come on. See, he's
literally.
Look, fool, just because I've partaken in activities such as taking copious amounts of various controlled substances that may or may not be FDA approved at the residence of aforementioned pop star, doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that it will or will not be alluded to.
You're the only person who has formally had a bar leaked.
I did?
Yeah.
Shout out to Rad.
Yeah, for sure.
That shit found its way to the Reddit very quickly.
Oh, wow.
You
don't even know?
I didn't even know. I haven't looked at the Reddit in the past day or two.
I should have said something when I talked to you.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
It was like, if it was anybody else and if it was any other bar, I would have been annoyed, but I was like, all right, that was...
No,
he did an all right little leak there.
It's almost like
I guess
Rad.
we're not going to say it again because I don't know. I'm
just not going to say it again because it's too good. I just don't want to...
I thought Rad was doing a great job of promoting. It was it was the perfect way to kind of just plant a little Easter egg to get people excited.
Yeah.
They don't know that's not really the cipher and that you didn't actually say that in the cipher.
Oh, there you go. Boom.
You
great
feel me?
Great job. No, I actually crossed an important boundary today, which is I played the cipher in its entirety for Lena as well as the two female Plug Talk employees.
Yeah.
And Lena said something that I was so shocked by. She said, I'm not surprised that you're a good rapper. I'm just kind of bummed that it was so mean. And I'm like, you're not surprised that I was like, you should be very surprised. And I'm not saying I'm good, but I'm like, if you genuinely think it's good, you should be surprised because I've never done this before. But I guess nobody has heard more of me just mindlessly kind of making up raps than her over the years. Cause I'm always just rhyming some random shit together. It's I don't even think of it. And I have thought in the past, damn, it's gonna be kind of weird for Parker when she realizes I'm not actually a rapper and that I just be doing this as a joke.
Oh, you tell her you a rapper?
No, but I rap. I make up songs with her and stuff all the time. Her default mode of communication is nonsense words and rhyming stuff because she's so used to me doing that.
Yeah.
So you're saying Parker ghost wrote your verse is essentially what he's trying to do.
I should have got a bar from her. That would have been fire.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
but that was kind of crazy. I honestly, I feel like everybody seemed pretty impressed by you guys that was in that room. 3 women, but they all seemed impressed.
That's cool. Hey, and shouts to, you feel me, the Plug Talk team for giving their honest ears. And I think
shout out the assistant.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And the thing, the thing that's super good, interesting to me about that is, Adam, you were really concerned about Lena's reaction to your rap. And
I wasn't concerned. I already knew she was going to think it was particularly mean in certain moments. I already knew she was going to have that reaction.
Do you remember what you said specifically on the pod about it?
What?
You were like, well, it's been 22 hours since I sent it to her.
She was on the road, and so I sent it to her, and she never listened to it. She didn't hear it until today, and that was 2 weeks ago that I sent her.
And then you were like, and I know she really likes me and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that she's embarrassed to be with somebody that would do something like this. Is essentially what you said last week.
No, I think that's definitely part of it for her.
So what if you go platinum 10 times?
Exactly. Will that change things?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would she be in love with a rapper, or would she?
Well, I kind of almost feel like it would be logical for my next song to be a Bonnie and Clyde type thing.
Ooh.
Get her on the track.
Deuce Foe, Bonnie and Clyde.
If I can write the whole thing for her.
Is she gonna be a Sexy Red?
No, she's gonna be like Beyonce.
Hopefully a little trashier than Sexy Red. I want her to be a little bit more upfront about her STD history and everything. I think if anything, Sexy Red's a little too low key about that.
Oh yeah.
But
so somewhere in between Sexy Red and Sukihana.
Yeah, get in there. Get in there, babe. I think she could be nastier than both of them.
Clap. No, I got the clap.
She's gonna overthink everything. She's not gonna she's not gonna let me just give her a crazy verse.
Are Armenians NBOM approved? Is she able to?
Not her.
Okay.
The ones with crazy haircuts and shit, maybe.
I feel that's a choice.
Put her on drugs through her fucking energy drink that day.
Mm.
Ooh, Microdose.
Yeah, like a macro dose. A little, some extra.
I will say that, like, when I took that perk in the studio, that the rhymes were flowing out of me in a way that they didn't. Basically, I recorded like 3 different sessions, and the one right in the middle was the one where I was off a 15.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I listened to it, I'm like, damn, you are way more in the pocket. At that moment, which I don't want to think that, because I feel like this is going to be a big part of my life going forward.
No, the best part of your verse by a significant margin is like literally the moment where
It kicked in.
the perk is surging through you.
I came out, I said, remember I was like, yeah, he does it, because you like, get out, all right, I got it.
Because like when I listen to it, it's like I can remember the beginning part and I can remember the end part, and neither felt more comfortable, but the middle part, I was just going off and wasn't even like thinking about it. Like I was just, it was just coming out of me.
At a certain point, you like literally transformed into Sada Baby. It was like, yo, where this guy got? There's a dude with multicolored dreads in the booth all of a sudden, and but it was just Adam spazzing off the perk.
I mean, there was part of me that just like, okay, I thought I was going to go into the booth with you guys and that I was going to be able to just be like, all right, you guys tell me what to say. But then you guys started giving me lines. I'm not saying I didn't use any of them, but I just realized, like, whoa, I'm too much of a control freak to let them write for me, even though I have every reason to believe that you guys would be better at writing than me, you know? But it's like, in my head, I can't just, like, hear a line. And I've had this problem before, too, where, like, we were going to do, like a separate, like, channel or whatever that just had tons of, like, stories, basically, about, like, other people. And I'm still, like, toying with this idea. We still might do it. But I, like, asked somebody on the team, I'm like, can you write me, like, a 10 paragraph version of this story? And they sent it to me, and I like fucking rewrote the entire thing from scratch. And when I think about it, I don't even know why I rewrote it. Like, I'm sure theirs was all right, but in my head it was like, I can't possibly get behind this unless I have
put your hands on there.
It would just be hard for me to like let that go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you turned down some ether. Like, I gave you some heat rocks that would make people really question their existence.
You caught on,
and you
fast.
Decided not to use it.
I feel like
he caught on fast as fuck.
Yeah, he did.
But I don't want to be an Eminem. I don't want to like be overtly rhyming. And no offense, but you be like rhyming the shit out of words.
Yeah, I'm like too good, huh?
It felt like I was doing a song with Logic and King Von.
You know what, bro?
But JCat versions. JCat, obviously JCat versions. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Like, I feel like as disrespected right now as DW did when he walked out. Like, I'm literally gonna
just get up and go.
He just called me Logic.
You giving that
like,
Logic energy?
Are we like? I thought that there's like a camaraderie that had developed.
I haven't listened to enough Logic to even know what that means.
No, it hurt my feelings to a considerable degree.
Damn, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. With that being said, another person that's a part of the No Jumper universe and cast, as a matter of fact, made a declaration that he believes that the worst verse in the No Jumper cipher is going to be spit by none other than.
Well, I asked Wack about it, and what he said, Bricc was going to be the best. Or I think he shot it out sus too. And he said you were going to be the worst. How do you feel about that? They're counting you out.
Well, I'll tell you this. You know what? I got a couple things to say. Number one, if my verse is the worst on there, then it must be a damn good cipher, because these old creaky bones got a little bit of bars left in them, and I'm not just talking about the prescriptions that I finesse from whatever relative happens to have anxiety. But
yeah, he's one of my plus ones to the studio for the next project.
See, that's a weird new revelation, is that you believe in the ghostwriting / assisting powers of Lush One.
No, it's just the vibe.
it's just an aura. Like, we gotta, you feel me? Like, we kick it. You feel like
he knows hip hop, so it's like the beat selection, and if I'm not on the right cadence and stuff, like hey, you should try. Yeah,
that is kind of like the feeling I walked away from this whole project with too. Was like, damn, I don't know how I'm gonna not consistently think about this all the time. Like, now I write lyrics in my phone like a lot now. Like, whenever I think of like,
It turns out.
all right, you know what part of it is?
This is new BMX. This is new Pokemon Go.
You realize, like, once you really start rapping, that it's embarrassing to just rhyme the last syllable. And that
humiliating.
even the people you think suck at rapping are like going out of their way to make each line sound like the next. You know, it's like they don't need to have like 5 different syllables that rhyme, but it needs to at least have like a similar flow. And if you know, and it really is difficult to get your point across while still saying shit that fits into the cadence that you want to be at, and then also doesn't sound ridiculous and like still sounds cool.
When people talk about like the cutting edge rappers that are like dope nowadays, they pretty much all use polysyllabic rhyme schemes. Everybody from Laserdisc to Babytron to BLP Kosher to anybody that's like, you feel me, pushing the envelope in any regard, they're mostly all doing that to some degree, whether or not they even realize they're doing it. And not to mention the Kodaks and all those dudes. There's a new Kodak song called Kill Shot that is on my playlist that I've just been listening to a shitload, and like the way he rides that beat is fucking bizarre. Like I could never.
This nigga with ride with pause. Right, the way he ride beat, he go crazy.
And nobody ever talks about that aspect of Kodak being dope.
He in my top 3. Like
I love Yak.
I can turn Yak on whatever. It don't matter what version of him either.
Yeah, no, he go crazy.
It's like if it comes on, like I will go through that project. Like, oh yeah, this was my shit from this project. This was my shit. Like
on that song Kill Shot, also like just the lyrical themes. He's basically talking about how he's like scared to even have new people enter his life because he feels like he's going to end up having to kill them.
Understandable. Like,
Which is like
very forthright about his distrust.
Psychopathic enough that would be a believable theme in your songs.
Yeah,
that alone says a lot.
Says a lot about your aura.
Yeah,
he had a record, I want to say it was like 2018 or 19, called Testimony, and I always use that record to show people when they're like, oh, Kodak Black and this new generation, you know, when old heads try to, like, actually Shorty really rap for real. And let me show you something.
Like, he can actually rap.
But let me wrap up this Wack 100 response real quick, because Wack is suffering from an affliction here. All right,
baldness.
Beyond that, we share this affliction, Wack. We also share another affliction. It's called Lars. Lars, you feel me? Lingering acute Raider resentment syndrome. Lars.
So you're saying you have a lot in common with him, if anything.
So I understand why he would think off rip, of course, or why he would say Lush has the worst verse, but the only cure for that
more rapping
is these mother effing bars, player. So we gonna see if we gonna see what he say after the cipher.
I mean, Raider already like kind of took it upon himself because there was like one leaked clip where I said something about him, not on the song, but like talking about the song, like, oh, I should have said this. And Raider like seems like he's taking that as like his invite that he already needs to rap back at me. So
I invite that.
He's in the booth.
Steadily doing too much, yeah. I mean, what did that last time he dissed fucking Chi Blue? How come like that didn't do nothing, right?
He did have a one amazing bar in that verse.
You wrote that?
No,
that was before you were.
That was pre-Lush, but he said, "How you claim double S when you got double D's?" that's pretty fireful. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna take that away from him.
With that,
are you sober now?
Me?
Yeah. Now that you and Compa are
totally.
Yeah, no more free.
Well, it's a matter of. I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm really glad you brought that up. As a matter of
your sobriety. Yeah, give us an update if anything.
Well, I want to know about. We are going to hopefully talk about your 75 days of sobriety.
I definitely want to talk about that as well. No, that's not like a sober thing.
Yeah. This is.
I'll lay out the terms of the 75 hard. But what were you going to say?
All right, we'll talk about this in a moment. But I would say this: Raider made a statement that was posted on several outlets where he essentially said he posted views from his beautiful house, and and he said, like, I'm balling, I'm killing the game, and no jumper employees are broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are all living in apartments. You all live in apartments, y'all are broke. And
nobody gives a fuck about hearing him brag about having money.
Well,
and I don't live in an apartment, but
I know you don't live in an apartment.
I'm not tripping.
There's various employees.
But motherfuckers live in apartments. It's LA.
You know how much I wish I lived in an apartment?
Me too. It's less. What?
Well,
if me and baby girl split up, I'm getting myself a nice little apartment spot. There's so much less shit to deal with. I mean, it's nice having a yard, but besides
you
that,
gotta clean that motherfucker up, though.
Yeah, what the fuck? I don't need all this space. Yeah, what am I getting? The tiniest house ever? Like, I don't want a big fucking mansion that I'm only gonna be in like 2 rooms.
Yeah.
Anyway, that being said, I'd love to have an apartment again.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll say this. So
that's what I told my girl.
My apartment which I'm really happy about. It's the first apartment I've been able to have for a few years because, you know, your boy, I'd be up as hell and then I'd be down. And I kind of hit a dark spot. And when I got that call from you in April, you feel me? And you were like, hey, you want to like, are you down to hop back on the No Jumper show? And at that point,
Big Bell.
What's up, Veliano?
You live in Bell.
On this K!
OG Velaside in the building.
Big Bell. Come on, man. That's a real one.
Gang. Nice to see you guys.
Yeah, Sirski.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sirski. With that being said, so like when I got that call from you, I was living out of the Airbnb. I was in between living situations. You know, my girl, like trying to take care of her. You feel me? We got our little cat. I'm like, damn, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And that call came as such a blessing. You know what I mean? Because not only did that mean that I was going to have more steady income, but it also meant that I was going to be put in a position to provide a lot more income for myself and for my family as well. And I'm grateful that I love my apartment, my 1-bedroom apartment, that I'm super proud of.
You don't got
kids.
What else do you need? Yeah, you don't got kids. What the fuck we talking about? Yeah, you don't need that.
Well, to be technical, is my cat is Marble the cat's apartment. We just live in there. You feel me? But with that being said, you know, I invited Raider to my home. I've never been to your mansion. I was never invited to your mansion. You were invited to my 1-bedroom apartment that me and my girl have. My girl cooked dinner for all of us. You feel me? She made salmon. Nobody wanted to eat. It was delicious salmon. You feel me? Like
nobody wanted to eat it.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, because maybe he was doing whatever he was doing. He wasn't hungry. I don't know.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not like, look, I still consider Raider a friend. And I actually really like care about him, and I know at his core he's not a bad person at all. But for him to insinuate any negativity about me, to talk about my family, my finances, like when all I've ever done is open my heart to you, and when there's so many times where it was like, where rocking with you was not the cool thing to do and put my job at risk, I still did it. You know what I mean? Like, and I still went out on a limb. Guess what, fool? He also insinuated about like loaning former co-host money. I'm gonna make that clear. That wasn't me, because he ain't never given me $1. Matter of fact, Adam, who got significantly more money, like not to pocket watch, have I ever asked you for $1? Have I ever asked to borrow money?
No.
From nobody in this No Jumper universe can say that Lush ever asked for $1 from them.
Fake narrative.
You feel me?
For
So
sure.
I have an observation.
I don't think
Sure.
he gave money to anybody.
Your girlfriend smokes more cigarettes than you.
that's very disrespectful.
She does, though, totally. I seen her firing them up before you would fire them up.
That's social anxiety because she's meeting you homies for the first time and all that. Like,
Yeah, and also,
It didn't feel like the first time.
yeah, exactly. You were like,
when she walked in the room, she immediately started telling me that my verse was pretty good, and I was kind of like, oh, hell no. Like, this is going to cause a fight back at home.
why?
Because she was complimenting my rapping, and I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like you might not. Like, publicly, you might be cool with that.
Threatens my masculinity.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, bro. I was like, yeah, bro. Like, we in love as fuck, fool. She ain't gonna. Your bars might have been cold, but they're not cold to snatch the pussy from me, fool. Like, I don't know what you think this is, but like,
No, but when she said that, I like didn't even look. I'm like, oh, okay. But I didn't want to like look over it. I didn't want to like make it weird. I didn't want you to be like secretly like seething over
weird.
there.
Fool, what the fuck? Nah, look, my girl cool as hell, and she's a very like, she a rapper too. She an artist too, so she appreciates that. But regardless, like, all we ever did, I looked out for compa, mind, body, soul, and preemptive pause semen. Try to hook him up with 2 bitches that anybody in this office would gladly knock down. I guarantee it. You feel me? And so I done nothing but try to help this dude.
Right.
Put him in a good position. Take up for him. Adam, how many times were you like, I don't know about that fool? And I was like, nah, compa's cool. Give him a chance.
Yeah, you were the reason why I fucking even knew at all.
So to act like, and you know what?
Or why I even took him serious at all, basically, is what I should be saying.
And I said nothing bad about bro, even after he went bad and went rogue and started talking bad about Adam. I still was like, I'm not going to talk bad about you, fool, but just like, please stop. Like, this is not like our agreed upon execution of maneuvers.
Yeah.
Do you feel me? Like, what is you doing, bro?
You making it hard to fuck with you.
If this was a skit, you feel me? Like, we already in prison. Like, you feel
for
me?
sure.
And then so And then, like, of course, you talking bad about Adam. I'm not gonna take your side in that. You feel me? I'm sorry, my boy. Like, especially after the 6 times I've already gone out on a limb, privately and publicly, for you.
Well, wasn't it like you guys got this like deal together, and then all of a sudden that's when he chose to like go on a bender, start talking shit? Like it was basically like something real good happened to you guys, and then he immediately like pivots it into acting like a fool.
And let me clarify that.
Not
as
a
well.
fool, but a fool.
And let me clarify that. I got a deal. You feel me? I got a deal, and I was trying to include him in the situation. I was trying to demonstrate value. You know what? You know what's funny about the whole money thing? And like he's talking about, he's so up. He got shit. I'm check to check with it. I'm still getting myself back up. I'm finna be up. You see me, like you see the moves I'm making. I'm going up, baby. And when I'm up is skyward bound. With that being said, I really needed money when you gave me that phone call. You feel me? Like when you hit me up, I was like trying to move into that apartment, and I didn't have the deposit or nothing. I needed 5 bands. Raiders hit me every day like, "What's up, fool? Let's pod together. Let's pod." I didn't ask him for shit, but I could have used it. It would have been great. But I got that together my motherfucking self. Paid my bills. In fact, No Jumper helped me, you feel me? And so check that out, fool.
I'm gonna be real with you. Like Compa never in any way really like proved that he was a draw, you know. And I still think that's true. Like he fucking did Icon's podcast like a couple of days ago, and I went and checked and had like 5,000 views. So it's like he's definitely not in a position to be like, you know, demanding that we have him on the podcast as if he's like bringing so much to the table. So we never heard him have a coherent conversation, and the number of people who are really like fans of him was relatively small.
I think
Let's be real.
And you know what? And I'll say what I always say when this gets brought up. He has a great personality. He's a really like charismatic dude, and he has a lot of traits that could be positive
for like
in the
skits
realm.
and stuff.
Yeah, but on a podcast,
Yeah, like
it's kind of different, right?
Yeah. He's like, if he does like a skit or some shit like that, he'll be good.
Yeah, no, but like ultimately at the end of the day, I feel what y'all saying. It's just so funny that, and he would even go as far as to be on his live talking about Lush does more drugs than me. Like what kind of like, bro? Like why would you even insinuate something like that? It's true, by the way. You know what I mean? But you would never know based on our behavior. You would never know based on our behavior.
I didn't know that. Yeah. You'd be walking around looking like relatively normal. He looks like a fucking J-Cat. Yeah.
And look, so at the end of the day, I didn't say any of this to disrespect it. I just wanted to clarify the claims that were made and the gratitude I have, you know, as a believer, as a man of God, you feel me, for putting me in that position. And you feel me, and shouts to the homies for believing in me. When Adam had to believe in me at that time, you feel me? He shot me the alley-oop, and guess what? A player... Shit, I heard No Jumper just got ranked number 49 on the top list of podcasts in the world.
In the world.
In the wizard.
That's why I mean, you know, I realize how it is. Like there's a huge difference. I'm gonna be real. Like fucking, there's so many people that try to compare us to ourselves that we probably should not even spend time acknowledging. Now, of course, with the cipher coming, that seems fairly unlikely. It's not like we took aim at a lot of like big dogs. It's like, you know, for the most part, we're kind of like firing shots at a bunch of people that realistically don't really deserve our attention. And that's even more true if you consider Flacco's verse, where he was naming tons of people I don't even know who they were. Yeah. So but we're definitely gonna light the YouTube ecosystem on fire tomorrow.
Flacco went on a Clubhouse run.
Literally. Yeah. I feel like as of tomorrow, I think it might actually be dropping tomorrow. I think that as of tomorrow, we're going to change the podcast content creator landscape in LA, because there's going to be so many people that are going to want to respond in song that I think everybody's going to fucking fall in line. And like, once again, because that's the crazy thing about us is that the interviews combined with this shit, like we spark the discussion that rules all the other podcasts so often. Like, and I'm not even talking about like ops and shit. I'm just talking about everybody in this whole fucking state in terms of podcasts in general. Like we just like create the fucking narrative out of thin air constantly.
Yeah,
well, if you're explaining and I'm not mentioning any specific podcast, but any No Jumper adjacent or podcast that stems from this universe, you have to use the word No Jumper to describe what it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a reason why on that list of the biggest podcasts of the world, and that's in any language, any genre. By the way, there's no stipulations on that. We talking about getting compared with we on that list because you feel me, every other podcast that stems from No Jumper or stemmed is still low-key a part of
Should
No
we
Jumper.
take a look at that fucking list? Because I saw it floating around in the Reddit earlier today, but I didn't actually look at it. I just scrolled past it. Was it in? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Also, like the streets, I didn't know how involved or in like that the streets was to the shit that we were doing until
I just emailed this. You
the shit that I started saying started going viral to where they like, you get what I'm saying? I'm like, wait, hold the fuck on. Like, I'm sitting here talking on a podcast with two white guys or with DW at the end of the day. Like, how does that even concern you? And I'm like, oh, this shit is bigger than what people want to give us the flowers of it be big. Because, like, you got to count our views with the react pages because they might not come to us for
That's
the
what I'm
content
saying.
because they got great react pages also that they're going to and they're hearing the narrative, you know what I mean, at the same
100%.
time.
All right, let's take a look at this in terms of like, let's ignore everything that's not of the culture or whatever. No Jumper, 49. Going up. Drink Champs at 43.
Okay, that should just tell you everything you need to know right there. Drink Champs at
We're in that
43.
league. Yeah. You know, shout out to Logan Paul, who's at 40. Not
To be
exactly
fair,
in the
I want to
culture.
say Drink Champs would probably be higher if they like were more consistent with their output.
Hey, I'm gonna be real with you too. Like, I'm kind of curious about the terms that a lot of this was based on, like in terms of like what actually counts. Because from my perspective, Joe Budden at 35 and $1 million worth of game, I consider the Joe Budden podcast to be like dramatically bigger than $1 million worth of game. No shots at Gillian Wallow, but from my perspective, I would think so. But I mean, this says that
I feel
they're
like a
neck and neck.
Barstool.
I mean, a look on $1 Million game, $1 million worth of game is like a
Definitely a
you feel
good
me?
look,
Like,
but I don't know. I just think of the Joe Budden podcast as like what I just said about us on the West Coast. I considered the Joe Budden podcast to be that on the East Coast and also kind of nationally, just in terms of like really helping to drive the narrative.
So what's math? Where does math pod fit into that equation?
Not terribly well. I fuck with math, but do you think that him being left off the Complex top 25 was like out of pocket, or do you think it was somewhat reasonable? There was definitely podcasts on that list that I think math is ahead of, but I don't think it's like some massive omission, and I don't think we've heard anybody really bitching and crying about math not being on it. Now, Say Cheese, I think them not being on it is a criminal offense. That to me demolishes the purpose of that entire list.
They have a podcast though.
Who?
Because Say Cheese is just interviews. It's not.
list was
Really
I consider Say Cheese a podcast, even if it's primarily YouTube. Yeah,
But it wasn't a podcast list. It was hip hop media.
Yeah, hip hop media. Let's just
This
finish
is
this
podcasts.
out. Because that might be kind of like it for hip hop, right? Joe Budden and
media.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Say Cheese for
Yeah.
sure.
everything else on this is
The Breakfast Club. 22.
Where's Breakfast Club?
Right there, 22.
Oh, 22, the Breakfast Club. See, that's interesting
Subliminal
too.
diss.
Because so much of the Breakfast Club, like if you were to look at the Breakfast Club's numbers, they'd probably be like pretty close to like us or $1 million worth of game or whatever. Like it's probably not that
They're
different.
like the OGs,
but they're on the radio and they're they're on TV and shit. So like,
I was gonna say
but
this-
that definitely like contributes to why they're big. I just don't know like how they calculate this.
I'm assuming this refers to, since it says Edison Research is the website, I'm assuming this refers to cross-platform views.
Club,
Like total?
it has to be Club Shay Shay. But you know what? Even beyond that, it's like if you really wanted to get a real look at like who's the biggest, you'd have to include like short form on platforms you don't even know or you don't even own. Like if you have a fucking TikTok that gets 100 million views, it might not benefit you in any way besides exposure, but that's still like very much like your content reaching a huge audience. I find it weird that there's some of these like Joe Rogan Experience I watch all the time, daily I listen to like every day. Crime Junkie, never even heard of it. No clue. I should probably check it out.
I've heard of it.
It's probably some crazy shit.
It's like it's A&E if it were a podcast.
And you're telling me
like,
Dateline NBC is a podcast? Again, no clue. Like, thought it was a TV show.
that shows how desperate they are to stay relevant.
But look at Club Shay Shay soaring from like nothing last year to 11th place now. Now, granted, like that's on the back of some gigantic interviews.
I was about
and-
to say he came out swinging.
Yeah, who knows if anybody's going to be able to really like replicate that in the long term. But I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Every single time I see No Jumper on here, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how are we actually in league with all these podcasts that I think of as being like way bigger than us?
Well, it's dope that we just creeped up on the 49th, and hopefully we gonna continue to rise and see how it go. Because I feel like if it's based on the type of content that I watch, I actually still watch No Jumper and No Jumper adjacent, like Flacco's, for example.
Well, look at this.
More than I do almost
The
everything.
list ranks podcasts based on total audience reach from the Edison podcast metrics. Interviews were conducted continuously throughout the quarter in English and Spanish. Rankings are based on listening over the full period. All respondents reported listening to podcasts in the last week. So they're actually polling people on this. So it's not the only podcast measurement service that measures listening, not downloads, across all network shows and platforms.
Is that kind of what I said?
This could be something to really dig into because it's probably pretty fucking interesting. And they do this like every quarter. And from what I understand, I think we are not on this one.
No,
which
we're
is
on
like,
the newest one. We weren't on the last one, but Q2, we hit
So
49.
No, this is 49. I probably just clicked on this is the same one as the other one. But either way, it's fucking kind of bizarre. So this is an honor, though, honestly. Shout out to anybody who listens to us because that's pretty sick.
I thought it was dope.
Yeah. I'm proud.
Crash.
You want to hear
gonna
about
crash again? Let's everybody.
Before we talk
Keep
about
all the messy shit. Keep all the bullshit going. No, I'm
that's
just
true.
playing.
Wait, but think about that. That was almost entirely conducted after the news. I believe it would be conducted after the news got canceled, after all the other podcasts canceled, in which all we do is this show twice a week that I'm on, typically once, and then the Wack podcast, and then interviews.
Yeah, for sure.
That's kind of crazy.
No, that was a joke. Like, we're supposed to be the messiest, the most fucked up, but we got reach.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever you guys see, those are natural hiccups of life on live stream. So,
And it's funny because you talked about, you're like, oh, how many people respond to you, and it made you aware of like the full extent.
Yeah,
of the,
like what?
But there's never. I was thinking about it, like, damn, there's never been anybody that's been a No Jumper host that wound up like attracting that same level of attention from people that want to get that clout. Plus, Bricc is down to engage with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't see T-Rail or
argue.
AD, any of those fools getting into it with fools like that. You know what I mean? Like
Very different.
Household-
Very different style of dude.
Yeah. So it like works for. I think it works.
Hey, it's just an act, guys. I'm a softie.
I was talking to Vlad last night, and we were actually talking about his current situation with Tony Yayo. So Tony Yayo does an interview with Vlad, and at some point during the interview, Yayo, it's kind of hard to tell to what extent he's being serious and to what extent he's kind of like brokering a deal. He's like kind of trying to feel out like how valuable he is to Vlad, and he basically says that while he was hanging out with 50 on tour with 50, that 50 told him he wanted to throw $5 million at him to try to start a podcast network. This is kind of crazy for a variety of reasons, which on one hand I think like 50's brain and industry muscle getting into the podcast game could totally create something huge. That being said, it's kind of like unproven to what extent people would watch, I don't know, Yayo interview people or like a consistent show with Yayo and
He's
and
entertaining.
Uncle Murda. Totally.
He's super entertaining.
But this is my thing. Yayo is entertaining being interviewed by somebody like Vlad, who realistically like is going to create parameters and ask specific questions and try to control the conversation.
Exactly where to go.
I'm not 100% confident that Yayo would be able to pull that off himself. If anything, if I was Yayo and I was going to break off and start my own podcast, I would probably try to like get a straight guy, like media terms, like a normal dude to sort of like control the energy and to be able to make it just not completely go out the window. Now, that being said, like 50, when you think about 50 starting like a No Jumper or a Vlad competitor, it's like he has so much of this shit comes down to like relationships. Who fucks with you?
Yeah.
50's so unbelievably popular that they'd be able to get crazy views every time he's on camera, and then he'd be able to get a ton of the top people in the industry on. That being said, I kind of feel like 50 would get into this game and be sort of like let down by what was possible financially. Like, it doesn't necessarily seem like a good use of his time.
Well, it's like
The first one should be a Ja Rule interview.
Oh, that would.
my God.
It's over if he does that. Oh,
Ja Rule.
That was you gave him too much game, dog.
Yeah.
No, Ja Rule would be crazy to do that because Ja Rule could never give that to him. Like, oh yeah, you've been shitting on me and trying to destroy my career for the last 30 years. Here you go. Just take it.
I got an unbelievable amount of money for you, Ja. You gonna write him a bad check?
I honestly feel like Yayo was trolling Vlad and actually has no real plans.
This is what I was gonna say. Okay, so 50, we've seen is capable of running media networks through like This Is 50 and all that.
But do we not consider This Is 50 to be basically a failure?
No, it was very. I don't consider This Is 50
For what?
a failure.
Like a couple of years, yeah. But did it ever turn a profit? Like, why did they not transition into like the current internet age?
Bro, all those sites died.
Yeah, but This Is Yayo was so early on creating original internet content.
Right.
Why did that not continue on? I'm going to tell you that it's because even if they had fucking killed it, it's not exactly the best business, especially every business you have to compare it to like what that person's other opportunities are.
Right.
50's opportunities are like go on tour, make millions of dollars,
vitamin water,
artists, brands,
movies and shows.
Yeah,
and
you got the TV shit. Oh, come on. Yeah.
But to him, like dropping a few mil on something is not necessarily a sizable investment. Now, what I believe is that was all cap. 50, this is just my theory, right? I don't know shit about nothing. I think 50 told bro, like, hey, use this as a negotiating tactic. Tell him that I'm going to start my own shit so he'll see the value and maybe you can get a bag out of Vlad.
Well, because...
Am I crazy?
50 does not love Vlad.
Well, yeah.
That has been kind of made clear that he does not have any intentions on doing content with Vlad in the near future. And honestly, I just watched Gillian Wallow interview 50, and it stands out to me that 50 has a lot of black pride. That I don't think he's like eager to like elevate white voices in the community. Now, that being said, also 50,
except for he loves Eminem.
50, yeah, well, he got brought in the game by him, so for sure. But like 50 has a very hard time staying on topic. Like they asked him the question. I only watched like the first half hour of this. They asked 50 like, name 5 black entrepreneurs who inspired you, which I will also say I don't feel like that's a great question 15 minutes into the interview. Like that's like a fucking like a award show ranking type question. Like that to me is a little weird. Like if we're gonna start this interview, we should be like vibing. Shooting the shit. We should be vibing. I don't like when people get too like categorized in terms of that shit. Like, I don't know. That just, to me, that stood out. Like, that's not the best use of the time here. But 50 has like almost no ability to listen to the question and answer the question. He just, he names one person and boom, he says Master P. And then he is going in tangents in every different direction. Like
that was 1 through 5. Master P.
Yeah. Well, no, he named some other people, but it was because they like forced him to name other people, which I was kind of surprised by. But yeah, shout out to them for honestly getting that interview, but it was maybe not the best questions I ever heard in my life, at least for the part I stuck around for.
I'm not like fiending for the 50 interview. After we see movies about his life and
this might be the first 50 Cent interview I listened to in like 10 years. I'm going to be honest. And I say that as like he's one of my favorite artists.
That's my boy
businessmen of all time. Like I just grew up worshiping the dude.
Same.
I think I know him already.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But, and that's kind of the point. That's why an interview with him isn't that coveted, because he shares so much of himself. We've seen, like he said, he has a whole biopic about him that he produced, and he's been very outspoken throughout the entirety of his career about every op he has. Like what do we need to learn?
That's one of the first questions that they asked him. No, Gillian Wallow, no offense, but one of the first questions they asked him was like, have you ever felt like somebody was blackballing you out of the industry? And I was just like, okay, like you should not ask a question that makes me feel like you didn't do any research, because it's so easy for me to list off the people from Murder Inc. to Supreme to whoever that, of course, there was a lot of people fucking. This is like the most hated guy in the music industry before he became what he became.
His first single was called How to Rob, where he talks about trying to rob every single popular rapper at the time.
But you got to think like how many 50 just didn't go for the fake cool shit. Like, you know how many rappers when they seen him knowing 50 was like tough in the street, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you,
right?
And then, you know what I mean? So when he finally got his little shine and all the shit that happened with the shooting and shit, he like, fuck it. It's me against the city already. I'm gonna just turn it up some.
Right, for sure. He came in, he was
the first drill. That was like first form of drill rap. Like I'm gonna just diss everybody. Like I'm EBK.
And people forget that after How to Rob, he came through with the Ghetto Quran shit. He was the first snitch where he was airing out all the drug dealers from Queens and shit. I went back and listened to that song the other day.
Instagram and tell a story.
Well, his original argument is it stands and is reasonable. Is like all that shit was written about in books and everything. So it's like who cares? But let's be real. Like a song is gonna have way more reach than a fucking book about crime, you know. Yeah. But while I'm having that conversation with Vlad, because we were talking about like him asking for more money or whatever, and I was like, you know. I just used as an example to Vlad. I'm like, it'd be like if Bricc Baby came to me tomorrow and told me he had a $5 million deal to do a podcast on the table.
Take it.
What am I going to say? I'm going to say, I'm happy for you. I hope this doesn't affect our friendship. But like, bro, go get it. Yeah, like I can't pay you $5 million.
For sure.
I'm sorry.
For sure. But you gotta kind of just like, hey.
Yeah.
And for the alley-oop, you know I'm always going to be loyal. Shit, it started here.
For sure. But then,
if it ever happened.
Vlad's response was, do you think I should do a Bricc Baby interview? I said, oh yeah. Which I was pretty fucking hyped on because that, like, I don't know, it's just such a formal platform in a way that I'm just excited to see, like, what the first 3 clips are titled as. I'm going to be hella tuned into that. And I would not, like, if you go do a random podcast, realistically, I'm not going to watch it most of the time because most of the shit is ass, but I'm very fascinated to see what that conversation is going to look like.
Dude, you should just do exactly what Longway did.
He's never having you back after that, yo.
Come on, Vlad.
It's a nice color, Vlad.
Nah, we're gonna have a good conversation.
Yeah.
I know Vlad. That's what I was like. Damn, what the fuck is Vlad gonna ask me? Because he's not gonna have me on the platform to ask no bullshit.
But okay, this is the difference between like a Vlad and like a lot of people out there is that Vlad wants to tell your life story. He wants to title the first interview, Bricc Baby tells his life story, and this is how it's gonna start. Well, so this is our first time doing an interview, so I want to go all the way back to the beginning. Tell me about growing up in the rolling 60s. You know, like he always starts out from the very beginning and wants to go through, but like, you know, you have like crazy stories from back in the day that haven't been like,
that's what I'm saying.
We've had the conversations, but I feel like it might have got kind of lost. Like Vlad like asked the questions in such like a regimented way that
he'll start with your family. You know what I mean? Like,
for
like
sure.
Generations.
It's a whole lot of shit going on with the family. Nah, I'm geek too.
I'm very, very excited.
I'm gonna start pitching the Lush one after that.
And, you know, I had a Vlad interview back in the day, but he ain't do it. And we did it on Clemson Street. You feel me? Like Vlad came to Clemson Street, interviewed me. It's like several parts.
I'm gonna call you Roger Clemens.
Yeah, exactly.
Roger Clemson.
Because I pitched that work. You feel me? So this fool, but I never got the Vlad one-on-one, and there's so much to discuss because he was there for the whole battle rap. He was there for the Cassidy thing. He had, in fact, this is why I really rock with Vlad, is he did an interview. He interviewed me one time, and it was so gnarly, and I was on so many drugs. The shit that I said.
What year?
2015, the end of 14, beginning 2015. And it was like right after I started working with Alki, and I got, like, you feel me, the Cassidy 200 bands, the battle rap disaster and all that. And
Vlad doesn't like having his time wasted. So if you came too fucked up one time,
no, it wasn't me being fucked up. It was he's such a cool guy. And guess what? I said things that were gonna. Like he said you're gonna. This could get you in trouble. What you're saying could get you in trouble. Like
you were self-snitching even then.
Well, okay, so at the time I was beefing with. I got into it with a battle rapper just named Serious Jones, really well-known battle rapper, and we had like a really heated back and forth and. Where we talked about things that were happening, and and then he wound up interviewing me, and I like told the whole story and a whole bunch of shit. And this is why people talk about Vlad being federal and all that. Like he wasn't in my case, or maybe he's waiting until I get super famous and then he drops it. Like I don't know, but I think a lot of statutes of limitation might be passed by then.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from my perspective, given how the internet world looks at this point. It's like Vlad's level of federalness in his interviewing is nothing compared to a lot of people out here who are popular
do it
now.
Theirself now. You don't have to do nothing. It's like, all right, I'm gonna talk about this, and then whoever picks it up and posts it on their page, nigga, take it down or I'm gonna kill you. Like, dude, you said it. You said it.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, did you take it down?
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
But like in this day and age, me, DJU, and well, I'll just use him as an example to just name somebody else, but like there's so many interviewers who are going to ask you more specific questions and show less care towards your possible legal jeopardy than Vlad. Vlad does not even hit my top 5 of most federal interviewers
I'm
at
saying
this point.
he could have completely slimed me out, and it would have made me not only he's like this interview is about ask him about
But
it.
Vlad does. Vlad has a vibe about it that is. It feels a little bit more like an interrogation room than most. Like this podcast, you're smoking. There's a couple other people there. You're hanging out. There's some bullshit on the wall. There's a 40 for some reason. That doesn't feel as much like an interrogation room. Whereas like Vlad's, it's like it's totally quiet. There's a nonsensical drum set for some reason. It feels a little bit more
Drum
like
set is crazy.
like a real thing.
It's iconic.
You know that shit was just there. By the way.
Someone got to hop on him.
The crazy part is, it's a smaller platform, but that's my boy because I started over there too. DJ Small's Eyes.
Yeah, Small Eyes is
Oh my God. That is interrogation. Oh my God. That's my boy though. I do anything for him. That's my boy.
But there's another
it's
thing.
just, you know.
I used to hate on him for asking like a lot of girls what high school they went to.
Weird.
But now Remo does that to all the Chicago rappers too. Like Remo in his head is like piecing together like who went to what school, and he can kind of like he can see like a map of it in his head. But Small Eyes has some of the weirdest questions of all time.
I mean,
Super weird and weird vibe. Like
Why specifically
It's the
girls?
vibe.
Is he asking that? If it was everyone, that would make sense.
I've just
like,
seen
from a gang
girls on there
perspective.
with like the weirdest fucking titles, and then I'll click on it just because I'm intrigued by the weird title, and then it's like it really lives up to that. Like many weird questions in a row, or like you start talking about lean, and it's like, so how much money do you think that you would spend on lean in a given month? Which when I hear that, I'm like, oh no! Like I'm so glad that I actually know what's going on. So I
My
won't ask that
grandfather
question.
owns stock in activists. The thing about
Nah,
Black,
he ain't even like that off
I know.
camera though. Have you met him before?
I haven't, but I've heard.
Yeah, like he like actually straight. Eddie was with the Southern Smoke DJs,
Yeah.
whatever. They used to have like little fire mixtapes in the mixtape.
I rock
era.
with Small Eyes, but the thing is, also what led to Yayo doing that is Boosie been telling everybody that he make $500,000 off Vlad every year, and he gets $40K per interview.
I can confirm that is not true.
Yeah, we
right,
could all.
but a lot of
Not
people.
40K per interview. He couldn't, and that would have been way more than fucking $1 million.
Well, no, because Vlad, I think I asked him. I think he said he averages 6 interviews a year with Boosie. So even if he was getting 40K a year, it wouldn't be that much.
That's 250.
But I know Vlad,
right
and I
there.
know Vlad's not like breaking bread on an interview that would be more than the interview costs that he could ever make, and he never make 40K off of one Boosie interview.
Yeah,
No
for
offense.
sure.
And granted, he probably pays Boosie more than he pays anybody else that has ever, besides like an occasional one-off, like a Samuel the Bull type thing or whatever. But I don't think Vlad would ever pay almost. Like, he would never have a repeat guest that he pays 40K. It's just not going to make sense.
Then if you got
sure.
Flacco, like Flacco was saying, you know what I'm saying? But Boosie putting it out there, that's just creating the energy of people thinking you got a bag off a bro like that.
I feel like, does Boosie do any other platforms?
Not really.
He will go on the Breakfast Club or Drink Champs or whatever, but as far as like his home, it seems, Vlad gets priority. If he has some interesting shit going on, he does the interview with Vlad, and his clips are like 40 clips of like current
I was about to say,
drama
maybe
and
he's
antics.
picking up a bag just off of the Vlad shit. Is that what he's saying? Like, I don't really got to do all the extra shit because my promotion of my life is through Vlad, and the money that I get is because I'm on these podcasts and shit now. It's no longer because of the music only and all that shit. Like, I don't know. He tried to make it sound fly, but I feel like he's saying that he got a new lifestyle that he living. He a YouTuber type shit.
Yeah, that's kind of basically what
5
he's insinuating.
podcasts
Yeah.
in, you're a YouTuber. You could change the title.
But the thing about that shit is that it's
on your
like
IG.
it's like if you're Boosie, you're in the game to make yourself seem like you're doing extremely well regardless of how you're doing. And all rappers do this to a certain extent, but like a rapper, I heard Axe say this the other day, a rapper's gonna get on a song and say, I got 100K a show, and the reality is he's doing some shows for 10, some shows for 20. He had some random guy who paid him 140K for a birthday party, and he's trying to get 100K. He would love to get 100K every time. Realistically, that's not the fucking case, but like rappers do that shit. And I tried it. I went on that one podcast and I said I made $1 million a year or a month.
Yeah.
I don't think it worked out very good for me.
Not because we all believed you.
Because Josh told me that like almost everybody started asking about raises immediately after that. Now,
That's crazy.
I didn't think I had to tell everybody that I was, I don't want to use the word lying, but let's just say fudging the truth. That I was like, I was being as optimal as possible. Now, granted, at that time, some of our revenue streams were doing like dramatically better than they're doing now
I
as
thought
a
that
result.
included Plug Talk.
But this was the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said all kinds of crazy shit. I don't know. I already knew that this guy was going to need a crazy title for it because like everybody else who does the iced coffee hour, their titles are always like so-and-so talks about going from making $1 a day to $50 million or whatever, you know? And so it's like, I knew I needed to go in with a good topic. I didn't really consider the extent to which it was going to impact everything, but there's a lot of choices like that.
You don't know niggas.
When I was watching the video of the cipher, I was watching the video of the cipher, and I'm just thinking about how cool I would look with a big ass chain. And I'm like,
Oh, it's a wrap at this point.
I'm like, if I spent $40K on a chain, I would be out here looking cool as fuck. And then I was just thinking about like how much shit comes with that I don't want to deal with. That I was just like, nah, I'm not gonna do that, no matter how cool it would be, you know.
I think you still kind of have to deal with a lot of it. So,
But okay, I know.
Without the jury on, it's like I could pass by him. With the jury on, it's like I'm finna say something to Adam. Maybe I could swipe at the chain and get myself shot.
Oh god, can you imagine if I was walking around with 5 chains on? How the prices people ask for interviews, would go through the roof. Because people are gonna like people are not really paying that much of attention, but they see you with 5 chains, they're like, oh, he's rich.
I wonder if also the cost of living in California is so high that
alone is a flex.
That's damn
Just existing here.
That alone, yeah. I live near MacArthur Park. And
I'm like, I live in LA. That's a flex alone. Like if I move somewhere, of course you could save up for all type of crazy shit. You could get a 4-bedroom for $2,000.
That's what I'm saying. So the exchange rate between here and Louisiana,
you're saving $3,000 to $4,000 out there. You get what I'm saying?
So basically, Boosie equivalent making $500K off Vlad, damn near. If you want to take that into account,
but okay, if you have 10 kids, you're playing the game on hard.
Right, on expert.
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden you have to make so much money to break even every month.
Hell yeah.
Not to mention, like, when I think about my expenses, I mostly think about this building, which is like probably our biggest expense besides payroll. And it's like, I don't regret purchasing this spot because we definitely like do a lot of shit here and make very good use of it. But I mean, like when I think about all the expenses I have to cover every year, for sure, I'm thinking about this building. I'm thinking about the house. I'm thinking about, even just having one kid. It's like, oh shit, like that makes me want to be so financially conservative because I just never want to hit a wall where I'm like, fuck, I got 5 chains, but my kids' fucking private school bills are gonna go unpaid this month. I'm gonna have to go and talk to the teachers and tell them I gotta make it up next month.
22 chains.
I don't want to get there. I don't know.
Get like that. Shit again like that where you still flexing and you got kids. I'm coming out of a stage where it's like, all right, this shit's strictly for the kids. I gotta buy cars, college, all of that shit. And it's like me being so late on the first one is like I really setting up for all the other ones. Like I already know I'm gonna just have to dig in my pocket with my when the first one goes to college, but I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying?
I damn near feel like I need to change your name to Bricc Adult.
You should have said that in the cipher. Let's get bar out.
It's like it don't take a lot of just you gotta pay attention and set yourself up because you don't want that shit to just come and you gotta figure it out.
Yeah, which is like me.
We have a peer who, I'm gonna keep this super vague, but I heard about him getting pressure put on him in the streets, basically. And I was told about this by some of my guys, and I said to them, I'm like, how do I make sure that doesn't happen to me? And they're like, well, you don't drive around in anything crazy. You don't have a bunch of jewelry on, so I don't think anybody's looking at you like that. And I was like,
well, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to keep that in mind. That's I want to hold on to that aura.
Because if you think about it, it's very disrespectful to flex that amount of opulence in front of people that don't have it.
But you don't be in them spots.
Right.
It's like at this point, you moving like you got a chain on too.
That's kind of what I was saying.
And you know that because you see people who do wear jewelry at where they go wrong. So it's like, I'm already moving like I got fucking $1 million on, which is just I live in LA and I know how to stay out the way.
You got to be
know what I
Julius
mean?
Caesar.
Like nobody's fiending to go to the club with all these people every night. Like that's their last $5,000 they spent tonight on those bottles and shit.
Right.
They
Right.
ready to do something to you.
Exactly.
They baby mamas wanted $300 and they spent $5,000 at the club and about to go fight her later on.
Gotta
Like,
make going
it's
out
just
worth
like
it
that.
somehow. Let me dangle something. You feel me?
No, but somebody said go and get you a gun and keep that on you. Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying like that.
Thanks.
I mean, okay, if you really be having that shit in your house, it's not just about like having a gun. It's about like you are a blatant target for a home invasion in which you having a gun might not really matter that much. You know?
Well, I mean,
Home invasion?
Well, a flock, if you will.
well, no, a flock is when no one's there. You said it right. A home invasion. Yeah.
A flock? No, they probably a flock your shit, but a home invasion.
That's when you're not
is like
there.
too much. Home invasion is when you're there.
That's when you're there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Well-
that's too much. I don't see nobody trying to for some chains and shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's just me being overly paranoid. I'll put it like this, though, is that fucking there's a family from my kid's private school who they just got their asses up and left, went to the OC because they had one of these fucking Chilean gangs run up in their shit. I don't actually even know if they were there or not. I know nobody got hurt, but like just hearing them talk about that shit, and I was like, damn, you're talking like I'm a fucking idiot for staying up here.
It's
I mean,
Chilean.
yeah.
I guess the Chilean gangs be flocking everything.
That,
Yeah, what the fuck? What is a Chilean gang?
First of all,
what's the name?
They're not Chilean. They're actually getting they're not chilling at all. They're getting up in people's cribs and taking shit.
Yeah. They getting that real chili. They getting that chili.
Yeah,
They be
chili
getting that
baba, that chili baba.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah,
That's a big deal. Somebody actually is caused a diversion and created a whole like proxy gang that doesn't exist to make these white people think that they are, and now all my good Chilean people have to suffer the consequences.
And now we got Venezuelans going to war with Oblak.
Venezuela's going crazy
Oh, yeah.
everywhere though.
I was just asking FBG if it comes down to it, Dutchie and Young, are y'all down to like patch shit up with Oblak and go to war with the Venezuelans?
Nah.
Combine your switches together? No, they weren't really feeling that idea too much. But if it comes down to it, they probably gonna have to.
They gonna have to.
Yeah.
That's the only way. And then welcome to LA. That's for being so nice all the time, motherfucker. You got to see that shit coming. It's not like that because they are not from here, so they have to settle somewhere. And then when they get comfortable, they gonna press their line because they have to make something theirs. It's just like war. Like,
Well, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't let motherfuckers get too deep and being too tough in your hood.
But that's the crazy shit about
Not out of
Chicago is that
nowhere.
if they really do have an existential threat like some migrant gangs, all of a sudden Chicago having all these gangs assembling all this fucking firepower and shit over the years is going to seem like a pretty smart decision because now all these groups of dudes are going to be fucking ready. Now, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if they're just going to be capping anybody who looks like they might be Venezuelan.
No, what it look like is them fools finna click up with different fools up there, and then shit like.
Did you see it?
There's Latin Kings, Latin Kings have a very strong. There's Latin Cobras. There's hella Latin gangs
a good
already in
point, yeah.
Chicago that have been. Just because see a strong representation in drill music doesn't mean that that's
They
just
don't
not
exist.
cracking
No,
in there.
no,
dude.
it's
Like,
cracking.
Type Chicago Latin Kings documentary
That's
into
what I'm
YouTube
saying.
and you're going to find some
It's
crazy ass shit.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like the Venezuelans in Denver or somewhere in Colorado. They just were.
Yeah.
They just took over an apartment building. I think that's what they doing.
I mean,
right now.
they're saying some of that's a lie, but I do feel like there's like a crazy insurgency
But you
out
saw
there
them with
regardless.
the guns and shit. Oh, that was just them.
I think it got hyped up a little bit by the media world. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that just like you could basically say any country in the southern hemisphere, add the word migrant or immigrant, and then just
Amazing
create,
clickbait, yeah.
mass hysteria.
Sure.
I fucking I brought Bricc Baby to a I don't know. You consider that a white person party?
Spicy.
Most importantly, it was a bitch party because that shit was
bitches everywhere.
90% baddies.
Yeah.
Damn near 95.
She a body.
You could have you could have sprinted around that fucking mansion over and over and over. You wouldn't have been able to find a beat bitch.
Damn.
At all.
I'm so glad I was not there.
No, I told you and your girl that I'm glad that you didn't go because she would have beat the shit out of you.
No, she said, y'all didn't hear what she said. She said, like, he can go with y'all sometimes. Just make sure you don't, like, you feel me? Like, fuck
Yeah,
no
nah,
bitch.
Oh, that's part of it.
Right
Take your
there.
head and put it in some pussy.
You're
You're not helping
You,
Adam at all.
you probably wouldn't have fucked no bitch no way.
Yeah, exactly. No, she overestimates. Like, she thinks that, like, every bitch is like, oh, Lush. I need, like, nah.
Where we were at,
He would have been draining those balloons that we were
That's
taking,
what I would've
taking a
did.
look at.
You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
pass me a balloon, fool. That's what I said.
Hey,
Our
Yeah.
real fans are gonna watch that shit tomorrow and be like, "Ah, I found mad Easter eggs before this shit came out."
Nuggets. No, and honestly, I'll say this too. Just I know it's bad podcasting to revisit a previously closed topic, but there is one more thing I wanted to say, and I really want to emphasize the fact that with Raider, I wish him no ill will, but when it came down to it, I had nothing, and I still tried to put you on and give you the little bit of what I did have. Welcome you into my home, get it popping, and homie, now you going out there smutting up a player's name, and I think that's not very nice, my boy. I wish you the best. God bless you.
I'm not responding to Raider because that shit be turning. The niggas don't know how quick shit could turn into a racial situation. I don't even know why he's so quick to even do that. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna give him a pass. Chalk it up to him being on the bender.
But okay, I will
That's
say,
what he gonna tell me when I see him.
if somebody,
Bender, I thought that you were trying to.
Of course, of course, but that excuse is no longer applicable.
I would also, this is the only person I'm gonna like preemptively say this about, but you know, just because I rapped about you doesn't mean I actually give a fuck. I just needed to rap. I'm an artist, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Use your ass as content. More.
100%.
Anybody feel free to respond. Don't if you got some shit, talk your shit.
Thought you was a star, bitch. I just used your punk ass for a bar, bitch.
Tell him, yo, I'm excited for that. What time should we drop it tomorrow? Like 4 p.m., something like that?
Yeah.
Nice, like coming home from work type hours.
5:55.
Yeah, 5:55.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Free
yeah.
the Mac.
Definitely. All right, so 75 hard. I don't know why this just popped into my head. I've heard
What is that,
I'm
like
not going to be hard for
3/4
75
chub?
days. I don't have enough blood in my body for that.
I thought that
But-
was like 3/4 chub.
No. It's
He
basically
does sound like a rapper. 75 hard.
It's a
add an O before it. 075 hard.
it's a 75-day commitment. Myself personally, like I live a very healthy lifestyle, but my problem. Oh, you switch brands, huh?
You know what? I don't know how
Wow.
these got here. All right, they're here.
I can't,
The most
yeah,
whooped
yeah.
out shit of all time.
That's
all
too
right?
much.
Like,
Those things are crazy.
Yeah.
No, you too. You're both off limits now. But
Oh, yeah, I
So
forgot.
basically, like I feel like my issue. So 75 hard. You have to. It's like no snacking and sweets and shit for. Oh yeah, fuck. We're already. We missed this, huh?
That's why I put it up there before.
Oh, did you? I didn't see it.
Should I click on it? I just don't want to.
Yeah, you should definitely click on it. Damn. Yeah, you definitely needed to like alert me harder. All right, we're gonna do this before we have the 75 hard conversation. People out there, you know what I love? Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Do you want to play Prize Picks alongside Drewski, Joe Budden, and MMA champ Sugar Sean O'Malley? You can now find community plays under the promos tabs of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each week. Share your personal experience. So my my personal experience with Prize Picks is that, you know, I like to go on there and put some plays together and just see how they work out. I'm actually getting onboarded right now to the Prize Picks community. This week, I'm going for Tyreek Hill. As you know, big fan of Tyreek Hill.
Safe bet.
He's going to get more than 90 receiving yards. And I also feel as if Dak Prescott, who another guy I'm a big fan of, he's going to get more than 263 pass yards. And on top of that, Josh Allen, I believe, will get less than 240 passing yards. That's one I feel very strongly about.
Damn, he's hating on Josh Allen. I get it.
CD Lamb is going to get more than 96 receiving yards. So all important facts for you guys to know that those are things I feel strongly about. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code NOJUMPER, all one word, and you will get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code NOJUMPER on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Okay. Can't believe I forgot to tell you about that. But anyway, all right.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, all I know is I see that.
Maybe I'll just look this up. What is 75 Hard so I can get you guys on the exact same page of what I'm supposed to do.
There's no alcohol, I know, is a part of it, right?
No alcohol, definitely part of it. Here we go. Why does Penn State Health News need to be involved with this? Okay. 2 45-minute workouts per day, and one must be outside. You have to adhere to a diet. You can pick the diet, but you can't cheat. You need to read 10 pages of a self-help or educational book. This is the first time I've seen self-help or educational. I just saw nonfiction. And then you need to drink a gallon of water, and you need to take a progress picture every day. So for me, the 2 45-minute workouts per day is like pretty easy because I work out with a fucking trainer every single morning for an hour. So really all that is I need to do like an extra half hour of cardio, which I kind of already do on an average day anyway. And then like adhering to a diet. This is like the main thing about it for me because I already drank a fucking gallon of water today. I read books on a relatively consistent basis, although like 10 pages a day, I'm going to have to actually like make sure I actually make some time for that. But the diet is the main thing where it's like I do eat like healthy ass food like every day, but then I also just fucking end of the day it's just like crackers and cookies and shit. I just fucking raid the fridge and just eat. Like I feel like my brain is able to eat up to like exactly where my caloric level is supposed to be at or a little bit more. So when I try to like diet, it just fucks me up. So that to me is like the main thing that I'm like really concerned with.
Snacking.
Is like adhering to the workouts and then also like not snacking. And I'm gonna be honest, the last couple of days I've been eating so much less than I've kind of gotten used to eating that even right now, like I feel like my energy levels are a little bit lower than it normally would be. But sure. 75 days is kind of crazy. It's like damn near a quarter of a year.
It's a month. It's 2.5 months. Yeah.
2.5 months.
So what I want to know is what was the final catalyst to this decision, and did it have anything to do with seeing us and Almighty with our shirt off and the lack of willingness of Flacco to remove his sweater
always
when it was 150 degrees outside?
I think Almighty taking his shirt off probably caused a lot of people to have little mini crises inside their head that day. I'm so sorry. Almighty, I fuck with you. But I'm not gonna lie, when I showed the Plug Talk
You're gonna
girls,
have to take a drive to South Central pretty soon.
A couple of the Plug Talk girls, though, they were like, damn, I would have thought Almighty would have had like more of a cut physique going or some shit. I'm like,
oh, that stings. Not the Plug Talk girls saying it.
I know, that kind of hurt when I heard them say. I mean, made me want to stand up and like catch the fade with them, like on behalf of suspect, you know?
Yeah,
like, bitch, I'm gonna fuck you with a wife beater on. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I mean, Flacco not taking his shirt off was pretty understandable.
But I think he would have been so gangster if he did, though. Man,
that would have been hard.
That might have been like the primary meme going forth after that.
Yeah,
I would have been like very in favor.
I think that would have been like the conversation afterwards.
But it would have did him well.
It would have done him very becoming
would
towards
have
him.
plenty of shit to talk about after that.
And I'll give them a little
fuck you, bitch ass broke
sneak
niggas,
peek.
man. Yeah,
that shit. Like I didn't notice until he was rapping like the final time that he didn't have the mask off his mouth at any point.
No.
Yeah.
That's some hoe ass shit. I would have called him out for if I actually.
Some hoe shit.
I mean,
I said that. Like, why the fuck haven't you took the mask off?
At least do one take with your mouth moving.
I told him, I was like, if you don't know certain parts, you could mask it with the mic. You
took that a little too literally.
The parts that you don't pick up on certain takes, you pick it up on the next take.
I just like
make sure you get on that one. I mean,
there's something if I'm not sure it's gonna make the final cut, but it's near and dear to my soul.
But I heard him rap it all the way through though.
Yeah.
Up under the mask.
Oh, so
I heard
he
him.
did know it.
He knew it, yeah.
When I was watching it back, I didn't really see his fucking mouth moving at all.
Yeah, no, like I was next to him. He was rapping that shit.
Oh,
Well, there's a moment where me and Bricc were both getting sturdy and we like hit it in unison, pause, like, and it was super fire.
That
and
was
like,
pretty gay.
no, it was, I said pause. And yeah, I think if that were in the cipher, it pretty much would be equal memeability to Flacco's.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like Kid and Play 2024. Like, we was really sturdy as hell.
I think everybody who had to take their shirt off had a moment of like, damn, I wish I had known we were going to be rapping with our shirts off, so I could have maybe made better decisions about food over the last couple weeks.
I was.
You don't care. Yeah.
No, well, here's the thing. First of all, getting sturdy, I just wanted to yell out, "She a smoochie." I just like wanted to start using New York slang really bad. But aside from that, I feel like my physique is not worse. It's not better than Almighty's, but I have tattoos that make it look.
Yeah.
They kind of mask it up a little bit.
He is kind of like under tatted
Yeah.
for his overall aura.
Adam, you actually didn't look bad.
I saw a lot of people saying like, "Oh, Adam looks buff. He's getting his fitness in shape,"
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "What the fuck?" I'm like so much fatter right now than I was like a month or two ago. But hey, sure, all right, I'll take it. You look good, pause. But you look good for somebody who like you always talk about how you can't like fight or whatever because you fucked your shit up when you got shot.
Nah, I didn't. I said that I don't like to fight. I still can squabble. I
just saying, let's go, Bricc.
I've been squabbling. I'm not giving nobody no fades because of the shit that I've been through. So it's like, nigga, oh no, like, all right, cool. But motherfuckers wasn't playing when I don't play when we get into it. Because obviously it's motherfuckers out here that don't play. Because I done been shot on multiple occasions, so I'm not about to give you a chance to not like me later on. Like either we figure it out or we figure it out. If we right there in the club and we pass by each other, we can't get off what we gonna get off, then we gonna squabble. It is what it is.
Because Bricc had flipped the Chief Keef bar, like he said, yeah, I'm from 6-0, boy. No, we cannot go, boy. And when Bricc said that, I was like, you feel me? Like, yeah, it makes complete sense.
I'm not going for that shit.
Well, now we got all the body reviews out of the way. But you know me, I'm always like, I feel like I do the best when I have like sort of rigid like rules in place for myself. So it's like the working out with a trainer every morning is like, that's just so much better for me than like picking and choosing what days I'm going to work out. Like I love the rigidity of just having someone come to work out with me every day. So I don't know. I'm giving it a shot. I'm definitely going to finish the 75 days. I'm already a little worried because I have a little bit of traveling in my schedule over the next couple months. And, you know, one of the things is like you have to work out outdoors. And like, there's a lot of like most of the American cities that I would go to, I am absolutely not going outside by myself in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck would I do that? That's
You
like,
gotta do the early morning shit.
that's when the fucking op hunters are out. At least some of them.
He gonna be hitting burpees in Flint, Michigan.
Still rolling off a bean.
Yeah. I mean, I don't give a fuck about the outdoor thing. Like, I've been outside plenty in my life. I spent like 20 years riding BMX every day doing nothing but being outside. So to me, that part is like kind of irrelevant. But I also don't want to start fudging the details of the 75 hard like early on and just being like, oh, I don't care about that. That part's not logical. Like, I want to take it serious.
It seems very holistic. It seems like very hippie slanted, like it might smoke American spirits. I think there's an overlay between American spirit smokers and 75 hard practitioners.
You know, a hardcore version of 75 hard for me would be not smoking weed and not playing poker. Yeah. Because those are like hardcore addictions for me at this point. Oh. So I don't know if I would.
Vice.
I don't know if I would be willing to even take that on. Because I feel like
to get your physique together, right?
The spliffs are like the sole thing tethering me to like being able to. Because Lena asked that. She's like, maybe you should stop smoking weed for 75 days. I go, yeah, I would do that. But the thing is, I'm going to unalive myself.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, here's the thing. You're not going to want to be around me. At all.
What?
You're getting beat up. Probably some other random people are going to get swung on. Probably going to die.
But do you see the cold part about this though? Like him seeing his friends shirtless and how bad we all looked.
Oh, no,
Present company excluded apparently is the catalyst of inspiration to him. And it wasn't like him.
It was the last time when we were shirtless. He got hella concerned about his body.
Wait,
off the reviews when we did the shirtless podcast.
Oh yeah.
I was high.
I felt all right.
Nah, you talked about it. You said that you needed to lose weight because you looked like something.
You know, let me just put it like this.
He
It's
said
like,
he looked like young M.A.
there was a moment where I found out that I was going to be on the cover of Penthouse, right? You were locked up for this. You probably didn't remember. But me and Lena were on the cover of Penthouse together. And when I found out, I went hardcore diet and exercise for like 2-3 months leading up to that. Then when we actually do it, I was in good shape, but like they had us posed in a way where like her body was like totally covering my body, you know?
So it didn't matter.
It didn't even really matter anyway. But that had me going hard. And then like after that, I start getting more into the porn game and I'm thinking like, oh, this is going to motivate me to stay in shape. It turns out it doesn't really work that way. You get used to everything.
They
you know?
like the dad body.
It might keep me from being like, 50 pounds heavier than I am now, but it's not really keeping me from like losing that last like 20 pounds that I really want to lose. So I feel like the 75 hard is, I just need something to make me like take shit a little bit more serious.
Are you going to be buff or all small?
I mean, primarily what I'm doing is like calorie restricting. So probably a little bit more small. You gotta get small before you get buff.
Seeds,
or actually not true at all.
and
But
lettuce all day.
seeds?
Yeah,
I feel like seeds are probably pretty high calorically.
maybe.
You walking around with a bag of sunflower seeds? I don't know.
No. I'm talking about like pumpkin seeds and all the
I never
other seeds.
really
Sunflower
thought about that.
seeds.
As a,
Yeah.
Is he on a baseball team? What's going on?
Inside your salad with like a grain or something.
I was watching baseball the other day when I was playing poker. They had a baseball game on. There's a player, apparently very, very popular. His last name on his jersey, K-I-K-E.
So,
Kite.
okay, hold on a second.
No, he's like Hispanic or some shit, I guess.
That's Kike.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Kike, which is like short for Henry, like Enrique. That's like Henry.
I was a little taken aback by that.
Kike. Yeah.
Nike should sign him.
Honestly, that might hold them back.
What?
How many of those jerseys are you really going to sell?
I'm wearing that.
How do you not have like a little
Air
line over the
Kikes.
E or some shit?
The Air Kikes?
But I figured
take
that out.
the Nike off everywhere, to take the N and put the K
That's
right there.
amazing, bro. There's a spot in downtown LA back in the day by like 4th and Beaudry, whatever, and it was called Kike's Tacos. I was like, what? Kike's Tacos? What the fuck is wrong with these fools? I was tripping, then I found out what it was. Like, oh, okay.
I think we need to get Lush on like a crazy fitness journey. That would be pretty fast. For me, just as like a fan, I would be fascinated watching that play out.
No, we've been like my girl's really adamant about this, and I have lost like 20 pounds.
She's adamant about you getting in shape.
Yeah.
We should live stream a rehab for 14 days, me and Lush.
Yeah.
Like fucking detoxing
This room. Would you guys be
one
down to be?
room.
This is
shitting pills and all that.
This is a thing that we've discussed in the past. Like lock people in the no jumper office for like a week or a month or whatever. Like, could you live here for a month?
Yeah, it depends.
I for sure could.
For
I wish
sure.
I see for something like that. I wish I didn't have a kid because that's like the sole thing. That's like,
Yeah.
why would I put myself through
Yeah.
that? If I didn't have a kid and it was going to be some freak show shit that people were going to be excited about, I would for sure do it.
Yeah.
I mean, in the name of content, the only thing that gives me a slight aversion to it is that just there's almost like a Yuri-ish connotation, like
it's thirsty,
Hey guys,
yeah.
I'm gonna stream 24 hours in the studio being lesbian. Whatever the fuck he be saying with his bitch ass. You feel me? Like
Yuri's going to have a tough day tomorrow.
allegedly.
He's in Northern California with his new thing going on. He should be straight.
Yeah, he cool.
Yeah, you got a new
Yeah,
thing.
right. He got a new thing going on.
You're my little boo thing.
Jeez Louise.
I don't know. All right, so
Let him move
75
up north.
hard-wearing mood
You
rings.
wouldn't move up north with her?
me, I'm not moving up north with anybody. Fuck that place. I'm not going up there. I'll go visit.
Don't do the yay like
Just
that.
making sure you weren't a bitch.
All right, like you have evolved societies, and then you have slightly less evolved societies.
So is the connotation here that the Bay Area is less evolved than Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Oh, we're on
of
Thizzler.
course.
We're now hi Thizzler.
But it is. It's like the rappers aren't as popular. They got no porn stars.
San Francisco.
What
it's
are we
all
talking
about
about?
the tech guys.
Right. And so if you're coming from that perspective, you're probably looking at, because there's a lot of different ways to view it.
Yeah.
The guys in the poker world, the guys who live in Vegas,
Yeah.
they look at the poker dudes that live in LA like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like a stupid fucking place to live if you want to play poker.
Yeah.
So I get it, you know. But I mean, they got less going on up there.
Yeah.
For us.
For sure.
For hip hop,
Well,
for sure.
what I will say is this.
Nothing
And porn.
going on. Nobody's stopping through either. It's not like a, hey, stop through. Maybe
Oh,
we
you
could get a
might not
pod
want to do
in.
that.
Yeah.
Might not want to stop. Honestly, especially nowadays, like my prayers are with Oakland, you know, and the Bay, because it's probably the darkest period in Oakland since late 80s, early 90s for sure.
Oakland
Over
got
20 years.
like 5-6 of my close friends and family members like hard drives and computers and shit.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
That's
It's
it,
like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like,
cars getting bipped. Don't
Yeah.
leave a computer behind because like
Crip Mac
everybody
got
like,
bipped when we brought him to the battle up there. You feel me? Like,
What they
He did? I didn't even know that.
Did they steal
Yeah.
the Colt 45 from him? I mean, what is it? Oh, English.
Crip Mac would never drive with an open container or have an open container.
I'm saying
I would say he probably almost always does.
Yeah.
But okay, it was a guy up north who came down here and robbed Jay Main's car behind no jumper. That wasn't even a local crime.
By the way, and the bipping is slowly migrating to the
Yes.
downtown and downtown adjacent.
It
parts
ain't
of-
slowly. That shit is going on everywhere.
So just be trucha.
Park your car, they write your shit, period.
Right. It could happen. But like, look, I love I'll never say that like the Bay sucks or is less civilized. What I will say is this: when it comes to the industry, much lower ceiling. When it comes to like the amount of people like is that you rock with and all that, and you're able to bust moves with, the Bay is unparalleled. There's like amazing networking, amazing people, and it's hella fun.
Now, if I want to be a drug dealer, for sure, I would move up there.
But even then, it's slimy. But you know,
Yeah,
what I mean?
but I mean, that seems like a lot of opportunity up there. But for like rap industry shit, there's shit going on, but it's not like down here.
Well, yeah,
and
so-
also nobody really is going to go up there. Besides, like it would be
That's what I
dope to
said.
be.
Nobody's stopping by.
It'd be dope to be like the big dog in town if I just moved up there for some reason. But it's like there's nobody stopping by,
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
I mean, check this out though. When I moved out of LA when I was 19 years old, I was effectively a nobody. You feel me? My little homie, or like my homies knew who I was, and I'm just a regular ass dude. Moved up to the Bay. Put in a lot of work out there because I knew, shit, I'm not Bricc, baby. I can't fucking move to ATL and get a deal and be like, you feel me, a poppin' rap star. I'm too outside the box. But I want to pursue this thing. Shit, where's the independent market at? Up in the Bay. I go up there, get it cracking to the point where, shit, I became
Culture
a
vulture.
larger fish in a... if I'm a culture vulture, I'm a California condor.
You remember when Hood Rich Pablo?
You was on that Mac Dre shit.
You remember when
Yeah.
Hood Rich Pablo went to the DMV and just became like a DMV rapper? Like he just brought all his Atlanta swag down there, took that flow,
I
hyped
was
it up.
in jail for his
But
ride.
he like got a whole thing going as a result of like kind of being like a fly ass Atlanta dude going to an area where there's not as many dudes dressing like that. And,
Yeah.
and
Went
but
to
then
the
he's like
country.
fucking with their flow and their style and shit, and
Yeah.
that shit worked for him crazy at that time.
And he got an indictment behind that.
Well, you know, that also happened to him.
Was that in the DMV area?
No, I think that was in Atlanta. That was
Nah, it wasn't in Atlanta. It was in
wasn't?
another state.
oh shit.
Yeah, that's how that
I'll be
shit's
honest.
crazy. But I mean, they'll pin it on anybody. But yeah, no, it's definitely like smart to go to those little markets that are like obsessed with your culture. If you can sit there and build your own fan base and market right there, they're gonna flock to you because it's new to them. It's something like you're the out of towner, like you're the
Right.
odd guy out. So I'm gonna come fuck with you because we could touch you. You know what I'm saying?
And
We
here-
can't touch Chris Brown and all these other
100%.
people.
And here's the secret. And Bricc understood this, and this is one of the reasons why I'm assuming he went out there is because our city, especially back then, now you could like we show a little more love to our own. But for a long ass time, we hated on ours. Like you had to get it popping somewhere else.
Nigga, I was in college.
Yeah, okay, there
Don't
you
give
go.
me that much credit. I went to school out there.
So yeah, he's not as calculated as I might have assumed.
My
I
mom
thought
told me that shit give me
I
a
thought you was
flyer
smart
car.
and went out there like you feel me like
But they talk about him going to Atlanta like he PC'd up or something.
nah, but it's like I
But
mean
that's a LA fucking brain disease.
like
that
a
if you ever
narrative.
went and lived anywhere else, it's like, oh, you must have been running for something. them, or are you just like
They said I
pussy
got
out?
shot, then moved out there. I'm like, bro, I moved out there when I was 17. Nigga, I got shot out here when I was 19, 20 years old for the first time. When I got shot again, nigga, I lived out here. I was back and forth. I never fully lived in Atlanta, but the fucking 9 months I was in school for the first year.
Any of my friends that
I
are about
never
to go
really
to college,
fully lived there.
I'm
Like
calling
I
them
always had an
PC.
apartment. I went to college. That's PC for you little whatever.
For
I'm not
sure.
gonna
All right,
do-
hey,
I'm not
ignorant-
gonna-
ignorant
Yeah, I know.
listeners.
I'm not doing that.
I just want to say, big shout out to our partners over at Don Londres.
Don Andres.
Or, as I call it, the Don. The Don is the only tequila that we drink over here. Don Londres tequila is additive free, which means no hangovers. The brand was started by music mogul Dre London, who did it in partnership with the legendary Francisco Gonzalez, one of the first families to create premium tequila. Their story is built on heritage, culture, and taste, making Don Londres the smoothest tequila on the market. Go get yourself a bottle today and enjoy responsibly. Shout out to Don Londres, and let's get back into it. Yo, I just want to say, it's kind of a...
Landrea.
they're not even ready to know about that song. Yo, they're not ready. Like, I feel
I
like...
got that big Dudley.
Yo, I was showing Lena that shit. She's like, "Is this super viral?" I'm like, "No, not yet." But it's going. What, the Don Julio song? Yeah. Which we don't. Don Julio's an op. We fuck with Don Londres, but
It's just
Don,
better.
Don, that shit going. Oh my god. Yo, but that song, Holly TV. You're gonna be a superstar. You're gonna be like Lil Nas X without the butt sex. I'm gonna be
Somewhere in
real.
between Lil Nas X and Take Me to the Movies bangs.
I want to know, does that guy have like an official deformity? Because he has like a bowling ball type thing on the back of his head. It's almost like a shag, but it's like the whole back of his head. But I know that shit's lit because I said it to fucking Roddy Rebel the other day, and he just immediately starts singing it. He knew exactly what I was talking about.
Damn. Yeah, no, I think they know about it in New York. That's like a New York song.
Oh, that song is so New Yorked out. Like when you watch the video and all those dudes, but they're never gonna get actually embraced by Don Julio because the beginning of the video is like him and all his homies like itching, fiending for fucking tequila, and they're like they're running around the house looking everywhere and like freaking out. I'm like,
so when you tell the truth, it's a problem.
Yeah, but
that
I
needs
can't
to be the commercial.
Bro, that would be the most progressive marketing.
I can't
strategy
imagine
ever.
waking up in the morning and like needing liquor to start the day. Nor
You
does
don't
that
know
sound
those type
fun
of
at all.
people?
Well, I don't do that. Like
Do you
for
know
me,
those type of people?
no.
Oh,
I'm just so far
not
past
anymore.
that in my life.
Like, not anymore.
Not anymore, but for sure, like there's girls who I know who are kind of like that, but
Yeah.
I'm not like around them like
I'm
that.
talking about like orange juice, like
Yeah, I've never been that kind of person.
with the eggs and pancakes.
You
like,
see him trying to get this joke off?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the Homer Simpson meme, all right? Yes, you're talking about me, motherfucker.
But like, you do be having your little joint too.
Yeah, no, but
You
I don't-
got that little.
I get a little split. I know. I feel bad when I'm around like real weed heads and I'm smoking those little things. And, like they got like gigantic Brian Pumper sized blunts, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yo, bro.
I don't want to ever
I was
smoke
talking
like-
about him. He be having his pocket shot on him.
Yeah, I have my little
yeah.
buzz balls. and
But,
all
Yo,
that.
they're geniuses for putting that shit around a string when you buy it at the store so you can rock it like a necklace.
That's crazy.
That is smart.
They should
That's
ban that,
crazy.
honestly.
I'm gonna bust mine down.
Dude, I want to play that song
The
so
parent
bad,
of
but
Adam comes out while he's like giving it clout, like, oh yeah, it's so hard. Like they should ban that.
Yo, I actually told him that,
That
we were
is
thinking
not-
about
not-
making a remix, and he didn't even respond to me, I don't think. Fucking Holly TV.
He's
He's getting
lit.
big-headed already.
He's
Yeah,
lit.
he's already out of here. He got, Kai Sinat.
Nah, but he does seem like
My
he
vote is-
appreciates us shouting him out and shit. Like,
my vote is he doesn't even know how to use his Instagram.
Yeah, he might not be as tech savvy as
oh, wait. Hold on. I told him we might do a remix of that song, and he sent me a 3-second response. Let's see what he said.
Let's go!
That was not cap. That is actually what he
He said, do that shit. Ron, do that shit.
Yo, I did it because but listen, I'm just gonna expose all his private messages. This dude, I used his song for a kendama trick, and this was his response.
The fuck that shit did? Hey, fucking yo, no did. No fucking did he? Yo, what the fuck is happening?
Like I feel like that's his like attitude on like so many people fucking with that song that they like can't believe it. Yo, I'm gonna go to his Instagram. Let's. He's gonna have like a reel that we can play even though we don't want to play the whole song, just to give people like a little.
How many followers he got?
He got like that shit probably fake. Just kidding. I'm not gonna give
That's
it
like
something
a
like that.
Brooklyn. Damn, we taking shots at Brooklyn and
You
Oakland.
think his shit just went up over the last couple of days? Because it wasn't up like that the other
What
day.
happened?
You didn't hear that buzzing?
No, what happened?
That's I'm tripping. Yeah, let me just grab
You
it.
break something?
I think the little Dan.
Are we still live? I ain't seen anything in the chat.
That's his name. Dan.
Check.
Done.
Dan.
Yeah, but Donnie's freaking out. So Don.
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 Little Dan.
No, Don E.
Yeah.
Yo, but did anything happen with the sound or anything? They're acting like they heard a sound and then it went back to normal.
We okay?
Is there an echo? Somebody said echo. I don't know if I believe him though.
I remember.
He just got a double dickhead. He ain't got no deformity. It's like double.
Oh, they said it echoed, but now it's over, I think.
He got like a long head.
I would say there's other things that jump out at me as closer to deformities than that.
Look at the eyes.
No, but okay, that's a different song too. Like he needs to have one pin. This is the music video, but I don't want to play the fucking music video. I want to play like a clip of him dancing around and
It's
shit.
down here. Hold on. It's right here. Go down. It's
Which
one
one?
that
This
had
one?
28. Oh. Is it the one where he's getting
This
it
is
out
him singing like Glorilla.
7 feels right, 95 degrees. I ain't got no bitch, and no bitch ain't got me.
He's drinking the little half bottle and shit.
there? With a straw.
Yeah.
Wait,
With a straw. It's crazy.
Is that the Reposado he's drinking? Like, that's like.
Oh, that's 42.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's a little 42.
But he drinks the 42 and just calls it Don. I don't even understand.
But
that's the nice
know what
Don.
that is.
That's the
Can't
nice
break
Don.
Don.
Oh, I ain't even get mine yet.
Can't
break Don, he's fake. What happened? If you can't break Don, he's fake.
Thirsty it is out there, bro.
Don, he's fake.
She imagine that many cups to that little bottle.
Bro, you're tripping.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna
Get some Don Laundry.
Oh, let me give him like 20 seconds of this.
Dan, we got the little Dan. Dan, 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 Julio.
Oh, I meant Don. Don.
Nah.
This is really putting me in a
Actually,
pickle. The
yeah.
sponsor and the song that we like directly conflicting.
Yeah, no. Don Landreas is the best. It tastes way better than that.
It actually
better,
does
way
though,
better.
like no cap,
Yeah,
like
it's way
legitimately, like
Yeah.
They got to get on there.
No, yeah, they got to get on our shit. Okay, what are we doing here? We gave some love to our boy.
it's kind of
That was important.
It's kind of interesting to see like the sponsors coming back to No Jumper, realizing you feel me. This is a viable place to.
Well, I've been doing business with Dre London for a little bit. We've been talking about it and shit, so we finally made it happen. But yeah, I'm pretty hyped. All right, let's do this story because I put it in the title, so we have to. Meek Mill goes off on Wack 100. Nobody can verify where you came from. Let's see what Meek had to say. Oh, here we go. It's just a tweet. I thought it was going to be a video. Never been to a support the hood day. Nobody can verify where you came from. Talking a lot on Clubhouse. Yeah, he in a program for sure. And only Meek would link an Instagram reel and a TikTok in the same tweet. This isn't even the right platform. You could have done this natively. You could have uploaded 2 separate videos if you knew how to download them, which in TikTok, you can just literally hit a button to download it. Online with a fake extortion story speaking on killing a famous person, LOL. So this does suffer from the same usual Meek Mill style autism that you see in most of his online communication. But, I mean... Never been. I'm already like picturing Wack refuting some of these declarations on our next podcast. Never been to a support the hood day. I don't know about that. Nobody can verify where you came from.
That's not true.
This is 100% not true. no matter how much you dislike Wack, you got to give him credit. He's
that's
from
not
where he's
true.
from, and he rolls around with people from where he's
I
from.
personally say I've met people from his hood, and he's from where he says he's from. That's not true.
Yeah, that shit is that's weird to me that he was put out fake accusations like this. I don't know. I was kind of surprised to see Meek jumping into this one.
Meek's off the dirty batch, bro. Like,
He might be off that Don.
He off
Don.
that Tootsie.
He got that little Don.
He off that Tootsie. But nah, Meek basically just said, like, nigga, stop talking about me. He looked up a couple topics on the internet and ran with that and just built the narrative around it.
I had somebody tell me to stop talking about them this weekend, but I'm not going to get into that story. I'm going to keep that in the tuck for a while.
Yeah. We go cool on that.
Beyond the egregious abuse of the app formerly known as Twitter, now known as X's terms of service, by posting not only an Instagram and a TikTok link.
That's crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen that move before.
Clearly farming engagement. Not mad at it.
But he's not farming.
Cotton.
All right. If you link to an outside platform in your tweet, then you're going to get less distribution and reach on the platform. Linking to a reel and a TikTok when Twitter offers almost exactly the same functionality as both of those platforms when it comes to short form video. I don't know, man. Like maybe you just need like a Twitter lesson, like a Skillshare class or something.
Is he showing his age?
For show, except it's like an age that's actually way older than he is.
Right. Well,
he's showing unage. It's just like an age that's a lot older than where he's at.
Percocets and Ishkabibble cheesesteaks for years. That's gonna.
You believe that? You think he's a perkhead?
No, I'm just saying.
Air it out, Lush.
What I will say is that I love Philly. It's one of my favorite cities. I spent a lot of time out there. I lived there for like over a year, right? People look a lot older in Philadelphia than they do in general. And this is coming from somebody.
Just in general?
I would say like per capita, if you're comparing major metropolitan areas in the United States.
Would you say that about the East Coast as a whole or just Philly?
Yes, definitely about the East Coast as a whole.
Yeah, I agree.
Philadelphia, I would say, is on the the older looking side of things. I don't know if it's because you guys
got that good trank.
They got the good trank. Y'all have to shovel snow, all kinds of weird shit.
You tried the trank?
No, I never tried trank. But
I've just seen it hyped up in the YouTuber vlogs. Brandon Buckingham and Tommy G. I seen them like addressing it on the blog, and Skrilla told me a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's like it's essentially like if you combine, it's like opiate moonshine.
Is
like,
it really? It's great.
Well, it's like home brewed. It's not real. Like it's like
really.
You ever heard of crocodile? Like the shit they have.
Yes. And when I went to Russia, I saw a lot of people suffering from crocodile.
Okay, so
I thought it was crocodile, not crocodile.
Crocodile. That's how
Really?
they say it. But it's crocodile. Yes, it's essentially.
Are you on a sick one right now?
What do you mean?
I mean, the sleeves rolled up, and you're just kind of giving me like a little bit higher than normal average energy level.
Levels?
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, fool. Like.
I just like that I got to call it a sick one. Sick one.
As long as I'm entertaining. As long as.
I'm not mad at it. What's coursing through your veins, though? Not crocodile. Crocodile.
Not crocodile.
Crocodile makes more sense than crocodile, which is already an animal.
Look, so I like Adderall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like Adderall. I mean, like, look, if I'm trying to get off all that shit, right? Like, if I'm just keeping it a sec, like. Right. I was taking a lot of the benzos, and that was making me hella tired. My girl's like, damn, why you always tired? Get your ass up. Da-da-da. She Guatemalan, she rise with the sun ass motherfucker. I'm like, damn, bitch, you feel me? It's like 6:15. Can I sleep? She's like, no, get up. Da-da-da. I'm like, all right, for sure. You feel me? I'm on your program, apparently. And so I kind of.
So you stay up later than her, or she just gets up off like 3 hours sleep?
No, I stay up later than her, and and eventually I started compensating, some occasional Adderall. For a little bit of
so taking Adderall not for your job or for a hobby, but just to keep up with your girl's energy level.
No, it's for my job because it got to the point where I was having just really low energy. It was difficult for me to get going. I'm waking up. I'm getting tired easily. Non-sexually referring to it because this doesn't. Apparently, she said it's not part of what she meant. But she said I need to improve my stamina. Not talking sexually. So So then I figured Adderall would be a good way to offset that. But now she's like, you got to start working out. So
I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like a kid on Christmas Eve. because I know tomorrow I'm going to get such a bizarre amount of feedback from the rap community, the No Jumper fans, etc., from the song. And I'm like so excited because I'm not only excited about them seeing my shit, but I'm excited about them seeing everybody's shit because I'm like genuinely impressed by everybody. And when I think about it, name a podcast crew that could step to us in terms of what we put together. Now, I will give it to the AMP Cypher. They really kind of snapped, especially for dudes who, like, most of them I don't think have ever even, like, made music.
They make music every year.
They do every year they do a Cypher?
They do a Cypher, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. But either way, their shit was very, very impressive to me. But when you think about all the big hip-hop podcasts.
Yeah. I
mean,
know.
there's not many like hip hop podcasts that are like a bunch of dudes. Because like obviously Nori could make a dope song.
Joe Budden too.
I was just thinking about,
but he retired like as he got real serious about the podcast shit, and none of those other dudes rap.
Last time I heard him on a song was I think "Pump It Up."
You guys will get that one tomorrow. Wait a minute. Has Queens Flip rapped?
Queens Flip is the show, man.
Not clowning nobody.
Yeah. He was doing everything for a while there, right? Queens Flip, Sidekick Anthem 9 years ago.
Come on, man. Let's go, Flip.
Look at Soulja Flip in the thumbnail.
Let's go, Flip.
That looks like a still from the Gucci bandana video.
That's
It looks like a
Sidekick
still
3.
from the fucking Craig.
That was
Soulja
the
Boy.
era, though. He got the Sidekick 3 fucking template.
I think we all missed the Sidekick.
What?
We could definitely see.
Why is it recommending chicken noodle soup? Was he in this
Let
as
me
well?
find out. I mean, back in the day at a battle rap event, because Flip come from battle rap. I don't know if you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But he wasn't like a battle rapper, but he was big in the battle rap scene. He used to come to events as a media personality. Always been funny as hell. And he had beef with a battle rapper at the time, the homie DNA. And there was a battle going on. I'm on ecstasy, per usual. We in Toronto. I'm hosting the battle. And motherfucking Queens flipping DNA about to fucking squabble in the middle of the damn crowd. Like they going back and forth, talking, DNA yelling on this, barking on this fool, Flip talking. I was like, yeah. So yeah, Flip's an entertaining dude. I've seen him do some wild shit.
Interesting. You see that he wiped his Instagram. So he's like starting from scratch. He's not a skit guy anymore.
Oh, okay.
Full-time pilot.
Shit.
I mean, that's what, like, at a certain
He ain't
point.
known for skits. He's not. Never mind.
Well, yeah. Don't do that one. But like, I don't know. Like, I respect that like at a certain point in your life, if you want people to treat you like something other than what you have been previously, you gotta do something abrupt to sort of like because realistically, if he doesn't do skits for a couple years, people are gonna forget he ever fucking did it, or they're just at least not gonna like immediately associate that with him. But I can understand how that stuff kind of that becomes your brand at a certain point, because a clip of you screaming in Mano's face on the street, even if it's fake, is so much more attention getting than whatever you're gonna do podcasting wise, that it's like it's gonna be hard to overpower that shit.
I gotta be honest, I haven't watched enough Flip on Button. Like, how would you describe Flip's podcasting style?
I would say that he brings something to the table just in terms of like energy, existing fan base, etc.
I watch his energy.
But I would say it's not the most cohesive fit, but also like they are doing something kind of crazy because they have like literally 6 people on mic, which that is a hard dynamic to maintain. You see it with us. We have plenty of interrupting and talking over each other, that if we had an additional 3 people, it's just like certain people are going to have to know how to play their role. And we see it when we fucking try to bring people on here with us. It's like it's hard for them to even exist when you have 3 people who are really like ready to talk at all times.
Yeah.
Certain people are going to have to know how to play their role, and it becomes way more of like a very complicated game once you have like 6 hosts.
That's true. We're way more talented than most people.
I think that they have a thing like where the topic, Joe introduces the topic, he speaks his piece. I've been watching and it's like a rotation, and I think that they keep that rotation unless it's like somebody else who's introducing a topic that might know a bit more than the rest of the cast. You get what I'm saying?
It's also like, you got to look at the population density. New York has so many people. Like,
you need 6 on a pod.
Yeah, it just got to make sense. Also, look at My Expert Opinion also had like a gang of fools on the pod. Sometimes it would look like, so,
Yeah, but that shit was a goddamn mess as well, right?
Like the Lick podcast. It's like
I never watched
shit going on over here.
Yeah.
going on that motherfucker. Like, it's fun.
I like the idea of us bringing additional people on, and if I found somebody who I thought was really great, I would be open to it. But it's like, if we had even one more person, we would have to work a lot more diligently to like maintain the appropriate volume level and like not talk over each other. Like, it would just be way harder.
He'd have to be more professional than me and Lush.
Yeah, for sure.
He would have to be more of a like podcast sense, like, you know what I mean, like know when to talk, where like to insert himself, because
so it should be Raider.
No. Yeah. No.
Okay.
So do you think that bitch like me? like that's what he would do. He'd like stop the conversation. You think he's about to like actually use his like interrupting card wisely and like say something important, and then it would be the dumbest thing you've ever
really
heard.
Tried to play me, huh?
Yeah, some shit like that. Remember?
One time he said, "You ever wiped your ass and tried to spell George?"
Exactly.
What?
Bro, you don't think I think about that every day? But I hold back. I don't say it on here.
I was like a
Wiped
fever
his
dream.
ass and smelt it?
He's
You never done that?
Like, not with shit on it. I mean,
you're lying.
Pre what?
You get a clean sweep and then you smell it?
Like, until what age?
No, high school.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
I doubt I've done that in the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
But in high school,
like,
I took a whiff of my own shit.
That might have happened.
You were exploring yourself.
And you really hate to have the shit that close to your face because you really, like, you just wiped your ass.
I got a weak stomach.
You're breaking it apart and you're really getting to see, like, what is in your shit.
No, I'm not doing that.
So we basically
I'm not breaking it
just
apart.
hyperanalyze
like
the horrible question that we're.
You know what I might do as a grown man?
Wait, we were talking about something important when he brought that up.
Yes, we were.
No, not right now. But at that time, we were having like a good conversation with Swifty, and then he stops the conversation to say, "Do you ever smell the toilet paper after you wipe your ass?"
Right.
I'm sorry. Get out.
As a grown man, after you wipe and you still feel a little itch, you're allotted to.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so you just.
I mean, like, it's nothing there, but it's itching a little. Maybe it's like some clear shit.
Wait, you smell the
right
toilet
there.
paper when there's almost nothing on it?
There's nothing on it.
I'll smell my hand to see if I should wash my hands.
You should wash your hands. How about that?
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like I just did such an incredible job wiping my ass.
No, you didn't.
That I don't need to wash my hands.
Yeah, you do.
No, but not if I really banged it out of the park.
If your girlfriend, or if your Lena knows, then
it's just the fact that
she doesn't know.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm not getting shit on my hands.
Yeah.
9? What about like 9.8?
Yeah, I was gonna say like 19 out of 20.
I feel like I feel like I get shit on my hand once a year.
That's what I was about to say. You're allowed to be high and just like, oh, what's that wet shit? Fuck. It's
Worst
diarrhea
feeling.
days.
Worst feeling.
And it's just right there. You're like,
day.
oh, fuck. Or you like sleep halfway and you think that you got the toilet paper around right here and you just like lower.
No, but that is the worst is when you're not even really awake and you just like you have to shit in the middle of the night and I'm keeping the lights down because I don't want to wake myself up by sitting in a bright ass room for 3 minutes taking a shit.
It takes
so I
20
keep
more
the
minutes
lights
to go
down.
back to sleep.
Then I'm wiping my ass in the dark and then I fuck up. I got to put the lights on. I got to wash my hands. All this is going to fuck up my sleep.
You can't just use your phone light to gauge proper wiping.
How the fuck do you use
I've
the
done
phone
that.
light and the fucking wiper?
No, but
Just be like-
you put the flashlight on and then you just put it down so you got like a little bit of a. Well, you know what I noticed a lot of people with? They'll have the suction cup thing on here so you can just boom stick it on the mirror of the wall and just like talk
that's
into
what
it,
that's
film a
for?
video. Yeah, my girl has it and I see her using it constantly.
I thought it was for the car, but that makes sense.
It's for that. It's for a lot of things. But like, okay, it doesn't make sense for the light on your phone because it would be facing the other way.
You can just look, man. I'm just trying to help out here. All right, I don't have a
No,
problem.
you're trying to bully us into wiping our ass and then washing our hands.
I just think
you have to.
I just think shitting in the dark is absolutely diabolical. I got to be honest. Like,
You don't shit in the dark?
I'd prefer a little bit of light.
The thing is,
in the dark, it depends on what time.
if I wake up
shit
out of my
outside of gas
sleep,
stations.
if I wake up out of my sleep to take a shit, there's a pretty good chance that this is not going to be like
It's
a
going
nice,
in the
easy
dark.
shit.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be an
Yeah, it's-
explosive
what?
shit.
It would be an explosive West Coast shit.
Would you go to the bathroom in your room when you know it's explosive?
You're definitely on that roll.
Or are you?
Just like,
Because I'm smart.
well, no, because I said the word explosive, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to tie this in by just naming a super famous song that says the word explosive.
No,
but there's no
West
like,
Coast shit.
Yeah.
It was a shit on the. I'm fired, guys. Sorry. It's been nice.
No, look. I forgot what the fuck. I was talking about shit.
I fucked it all.
What the fuck
I fucked it all.
Oh,
Donnie thought it was
no, this is an important question. Do you go to the other bathroom or do you go to the bathroom that everybody's in? If you know it's going to, you try to like sneak out the room real quick and run back?
I go to the one in the hall.
Yeah.
Because I can make more noise there and my girl's not going to hear it. Because I have like the thing that like the fan.
Yeah.
That's in the hall. That's
Yeah.
not in the main bathroom. I don't really want my girl to be like sleeping in here.
Does your girl do it?
Have I ever heard her shit during my sleep? No.
Well, my girl needs to go to the hallway.
She's damn. She got a loud one. That's crazy. She got a loud pack. My girl,
Metro booming.
she seems like she
Take your ass
she
to
can
the
just
other
shit.
fucking
It's
bathroom.
quiet. I don't think I ever heard her take like a loud shit.
No. It's not all the time, but I've been
Drummer
woken
gang.
up. Yeah, like hey. She about to kill me, but oh well.
Guess what? You guys have multiple restrooms in your house. I don't have this luxury. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm
shit.
still tormented by nightmares of when I used to be like when I lived in Austin. The girl that I dated for like 2 months, her room, bathroom, like right across the hall, and we're drinking so much.
Oh,
that
alcohol
I am
squirts.
just absolutely tearing that shit to shreds. Middle of the night, early morning, I'm just everything. Oh God, not good.
have you spent a
Think
lot
she
of time?
kicked you out over that shit?
She never really like picked up on it from what I could tell, but
Yes, she did. She just didn't say anything.
maybe I don't know.
You kicked it overseas, like in Europe, to the point where you've actually like not just been in hotels, but gone to people's houses in like France and different parts of Europe before.
and had to deal with bathrooms that the toilet barely works.
No, the toilet's in a motherfucking separate room than the sink. And that's like standard practice. That's the majority.
You said it's what?
The toilet is in a different room than the sink. The toilet's in a room by itself. You take a shit, you have to leave the room, enter a different room, which has the sink and the shower in it.
I feel like that's broke shit because that has happened to me in like hotel, like I staying in a hostel in France, and the bathroom in your room has a bidet. And like you could piss in it, I guess, and stuff. But if you want to take a shit, you have to go to the communal bathroom in the hall that like
First of all,
9
you're not
different
supposed
rooms
to piss
use.
in a bidet.
That's what I'm like.
Yeah.
You can piss in a bidet. Why not?
I don't believe that's the intended purpose of a bidet.
Yeah, but it's like pissing in the sink. You can do it.
I mean,
Can you pee in the bidet? Don't pee in a bidet. A bidet is not a toilet. You're not supposed to urinate in it, ever. They're making this so explicit. The toilet is for toileting, while the bidet is for a cleanup job that comes after you've done your business. But I feel like the bidet is capable of taking like a small amount of liquid.
no, I think it is too, considering like it's ass juice. So
It's gonna leave a nasty smell.
But it's got a
After
fucking
while.
drain.
Too many
It's-
piss jobs. Yeah, the drain has shit stuck to the walls of it.
Dude, I puked in a bidet. Oh man,
you're
Oh, yeah,
that was
that's
like
a problem.
that was
That's
like a year and a
shit.
half ago.
that just shows how progressive you are. You're really ahead of the curve.
I couldn't
here.
tell if I was hungover or if it was I ate some bad fish the night before because I did both. I got drunk as fuck and I ate bad fish or fish that could have been bad.
There's something about, for sure, fish is like the most like diuretic inducing form of meat for that.
It's delicate, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be.
You know, I am seeing a lot of people saying that they pee in the bidet,
Honestly, I think peeing in
Nasty fucker.
but you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're nasty. That's
talk
why.
about broke shit. Peeing in the bidet. Get the fuck out of here.
I have an
How is it
expansive view of
They say
urinating
that
and
you're supposed to
defecating.
piss in the shower to save water.
Yeah,
Say
well,
that
I mean,
you go
yeah,
piss
I
in
do
the
that all the
shower
time.
drain and run
I
the
definitely
water
piss in the
afterwards.
shower
Oh
constantly.
yeah, of course, yeah, every day.
Yeah, I'm a shower. pisser.
Shower can get this work regardless of what it is.
Yeah, if I'm in the shower with somebody, I'm gonna piss all over them too.
That's my favorite. Yeah,
I
you.
want to
My
piss
wife.
on you.
Not anyone else, realistically.
Dave Chappelle was the best. That was one of my favorite parts of growing up. The Chappelle show.
The him holding up the big ass like bucket that said R. Kelly's doo-doo butter on it. That's the best part.
Shit on YouTube.
I did a podcast with a girl the other day, and we, within 5 minutes of starting it, completely agreed about the fact that we both don't feel the need to shower nearly as much as other people, which I kind of felt like I had met my soulmate in a way.
Is she white?
Yes.
Oh, what a shocker.
But okay, this was my soul statement is every time I'm going to leave the house, I'm going to shower for anything even slightly professional. But if I get home Friday and I don't leave the house until Monday morning, there's a pretty good chance I'm not showering between Friday evening and Monday morning. That's just me. That's me. I don't feel like I need to.
I feel so validated. And I hope I know my fucking girlfriend. Jerem, I know you watching this shit. And guess what? It's normal. Like if I'm not leaving the house, why do I have to shower?
So you're on board?
Yes.
I felt like you were one of the people hating on me for saying this during the Custer era.
I probably was.
Custer era. I'm going to stick with that.
The Custer era is amazing.
If my ball starts sticking to my leg, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go. Like
I wouldn't even know what my balls were doing unless I really I don't know.
If you get up and it's damp down there, it's time to get in the shower.
If I was thinking about dunking my balls in my girl's mouth, for sure I need to take a shower before I do that.
Okay.
If we're going to have sex and I haven't showered in 24 hours, for sure I need to take a shower.
Yeah.
Am I annoyed and pissed off, and do I think it's worth it? Not really, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Damn, because I thought she didn't love me because she's the same way. And she's like, you got to shower first. I was like, damn, I thought if you really love me, you feel me take this essence.
But you probably had
Dirty dick.
You've had girls in your life that wanted your dick to stink, right?
Of course. Absolutely.
Why don't I ever end up in relationships with those ones? I feel like they're undateable.
What, the musty dick crew?
Girls who want your dick to stink.
Well, if they...
Yeah, nobody likes them.
What's up? It's always like the grimiest whore ever.
Yeah,
I mean, even during hardcore era, BMX Adam never encountered a woman that enjoyed
No, for sure. I just didn't end up dating him.
Yeah, it's like that bitch. When you think about it, like this bitch takes my sweaty dick, and sometimes I do it on purpose. I had a bitch that was like so ugly in high school. The only way that you could suck my dick is like after basketball practice.
I have to disrespect you with odor.
No, it was like nighttime, so it was like, bitch, when we walk home from school, like we can hit a cut or something, but I'm not getting in the shower at school, so you have to suck the sweat off.
That's grimy. I wasn't in a relationship for 10 years.
Really?
2006 to 2016, I pretty much wasn't in a relationship more than like a month. Maybe there was one time I dated a girl for like 3 months that felt kind of serious, but how serious can it be in 3 months, you know?
What's the most...
It can get serious.
10 years, I just
3 months is almost marriage.
For you, possibly. But for me...
If you can find a girl to stick around for 3 months with my type of behavior, with our type of behavior, she's almost a roller.
Yeah, but then she hit the road.
Yeah,
she hit the road.
She's out of there.
That was one of the only times in my life that I didn't tell her to get the fuck out, that she left me. Yeah. And that devastated me for a short period of time.
Yeah, but it's not really her you're missing. It's more just the concept of the rejection.
And that was the fucked up part. It was right after I moved to California. So it's like, she didn't just represent a girl I was fucking with. She also represented this is a social network that I kind of fell into that made everything easier, you know?
Oh, so she was out here when you moved.
Yeah,
so
she had been out here for a few years and had her built-in group of friends and stuff. Meanwhile, I'm a BMX dude. I move out here, I've got 4 friends.
Yeah.
And then there's other BMX dudes we're hanging out with and shit, but she was tapped in within a cooler world.
Hey, Adam's ex-girlfriend, how many friends you got now compared to him, huh?
Man.
Bad move, shorty. Bad move.
Great move.
Great move.
Yeah, no, you're right. She probably got no homies.
Yeah.
She's homieless out here. Yeah.
Great move, you fucking pussy.
She's a real estate tycoon.
Can I call her that?
Sure. How you guys feel about FBG Butta getting his ass beat?
I thought that he said it was some type of...
He's a liar. We've got pretty good information.
What the fuck
Crohn's disease?
Nah, this is real shit.
It was something.
Yeah, he got into a situation.
Oh, yeah, no, I seen it. Shouts to Butter, man.
Is it allergic?
I just can't believe they finally caught up with him. I don't understand why he took a picture with this dude. This guy was cheesing super hard.
He looked like he about to bust a move, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, it happens though. He probably caught a fade. They got the best of him. Shit.
And you know what?
It don't seem like they jumped him. It don't look like jump work.
I heard a few different renditions of what happened, but it's been like 4 days and the video hasn't been released. But there's a bunch of different people telling me that they saw the video. So I'm assuming we're probably going to see the video pretty soon.
Okay, so do tell what happened in the video.
I didn't see it. I just like heard people talking about it.
What's the fucking fake narrative that's going around?
His narrative is saying that he has some kind of disease or chlamydia of the eye or some shit. I don't know.
There is eye syphilis going
He
around.
probably ate some bad ass. She squirted.
But that's
in
what
his
he wants you
fucking
to
eye.
believe, that he's
Yeah.
just freaky Butta and not hot Butta who got whooped on.
There is
So
actually posters all throughout like central Los Angeles that like are warning people about eye syphilis.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
But I want to say you know what? If fools in Chicago are fighting instead of shooting, like I think that's
That's why I'm like, they didn't kill him, so it's
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, that had to be one of his homies.
Well, yeah, it was friendly fire, I think. It's
yeah,
not like a
that's what I'm like.
BD caught him lacking.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's cool. They caught a fade.
Step in
He
the right
lost.
direction. That's good.
Nah, definitely, bro. They briefly got me. I saw a video and it said that it was chiefing,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. And I was just like, for a second, I was like, oh fuck.
Like
no.
a third incident.
2 in 1 week is insane. You know that wasn't Frosty who was beating him?
Yeah.
That was somebody else.
The first one that we saw was not Frosty.
That's what we get for acting
Just
on
assuming.
the first narrative. Yeah.
I always get fucked like that. I'm like, damn.
Well, I just heard like the vocal tone of the On B team kind of
Oh,
sounded.
big team. It sound like Frosty,
Yeah,
right?
so that's what kind of sound is his lingo. So I was like, okay.
Oh wait, footage surfaces of altercation with Mikey Dollars and FYB Duke
I thought that was-
led to getting his eyes blacked. Oh
I
shit!
thought that was Butta at first. I'm like,
I don't know how violent this is gonna be. Oh, you can't see shit.
That's not violent.
How is this even footage? This is a boomerang. This is like a boomerang of a fucking CCTV camera.
That looks like a hood version of like the Mike Valley.
You beating up the
CYK.
hockey players or whatever. Yeah. Oh, that right there. Like it's crazy when you think about skate videos and shit. Like how easily impressed we were.
We thought that was
You
amazing.
beat up like a bunch of guys one time in your life. We thought you were the hardest dude
He
ever.
like bullied some dude way smaller than him.
Bro, Terry Kennedy
Yeah.
literally did a rail, threw up Crip. You couldn't tell me shit. I thought he was the most gangster dude to ever live because I had never seen a BMXer or a skater throw up a gang sign before. And he pulled out his check too.
Sure.
I didn't even know how much it was. I don't even think you could tell that right there. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. He threw up a gang sign and he showed his check.
This nigga was the fucking staple.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was the fucking staple for sure.
And then-
He went
I
out
don't
and
even
killed
think
somebody.
he was like a fucking like hard skateboarder either. He was just like
Terry?
the only
He was
black
pretty
one.
good,
Yeah.
but-
He wasn't like elite like some people, but you know,
He never
was doing
made
his
it to
thing.
Tony Hawk, did he?
Nah, but that era was kind of like over by the time he popped off.
Nah, they had a new Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
The
but
one with the skateboard.
but they already had Stevie Williams and shit. They're like, we don't need
Yeah, I know.
another.
That's
And
what
then
I'm saying.
eventually that led to the
That's the-
They
trajectory.
only want to let one black dude in.
But,
Yeah,
but then there was like Antoine Dixon and shit. You feel me? That's like where
They
that.
never let him all the way in either.
Nah,
the
but he
most
was wild.
entertaining.
He was hard.
He was way too crazy.
Yeah,
He's
for
the
sure.
best skater of all time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Best style. Period.
Personality-wise.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, like he's my favorite.
My interview with him is. I should just sit down and rewatch the whole thing. Lush, get a doctor's script for Desoxin. Look it up live.
Thank you, my boy.
Should we actually look it up? It's probably gonna be for AIDS or something.
It was
That's probably
$2
for
too,
losing weight,
Adam.
for like getting off drugs.
There you go for the $2 read. I think Adam just wanted you to know you needed to.
I don't even know what
So
it is.
good.
Isn't it methamphetamine?
It's to treat attention deficit hyperactivity
Okay,
disorder.
yeah. He's giving legitimate advice. Yeah.
Global Warming sent $10 and said, Adam made the show late on purpose to wait on Bricc because the chat pressed him about allowing Bricc to be late every single episode, and he was scared to check Bricc. I don't feel like you're late every episode. And also, the show was late because they were late, which is,
Dave?
I mean, you were like right on the
I
cusp.
was saying, yeah.
You were there like exactly.
We're
on
white
time.
people late. I was 15 minutes early. I
Exactly.
thought I would fucking get a fucking donut. I'm still late.
I feel like I heard your voice like 2 minutes away from.
No.
Like
3:45.
3:58.
3:45.
He was like 342. I was like 338.
I came in and I made oatmeal. That's why.
I did see that. Adam, this is Reap Cash. My song R.I.P. Pat should be on Adam's No Jumper playlist by now. Well, hopefully, they should throw that on the list and they could play that during the music live stream that's coming up right after this.
Oh, he's definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
I really want to stick around, but I got fucking 3 interviews tomorrow I got to get ready for. Wait, is that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Reap Cash.
That's smoking on the ecstasy?
The no Jumper music stream goat, fool.
Oh, he's a goat, that's for sure. Bone doing work. Shout out Lush. This is one of the biggest from Milwaukee's Trap. I knew Lush before any of y'all. No diss, just saying Lush is a legend. Legit. If you ever in the Millie, I got you. Wow.
Come on, fool.
A little bit of glazing.
In the Millie.
Come on.
What's the Millie?
Milwaukee, fool. Milltown.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was called Milwaukee, but I guess if you're white, it's the Millie.
Hey, we don't know,
If
bro.
you
White.
ever in the Millie,
Shouts to
he's white. The Millie.
Lush, we see the dookie on your head because it's so far up Adam's butt. Get out the middle of the bukkake between Adam and Bricc. How do you feel when you see people accusing you of glazing a little too much or like agreeing with me too much or whatever?
Why do you want to remove me from my safe place? I love it.
My house is warm. That's true.
Dick.
No, check this out, fool. You know what?
You just said
I don't
you love
be, I
sucking
don't be,
dick.
I don't be glazing, motherfucker. What you know what I am? I'm a good conversationalist. It's called a feedback sandwich. What I give you, a feedback sandwich.
That's
I'm gonna
like
say something
alley-oop.
nice. I'm gonna say something mean, and then I'm gonna say something nice. But you're not going to absorb the meanness until later. And then, and I'm not saying this about you in particular, but this is my style of endearing people to get them comfortable during podcasts.
Okay, but I would say,
do I glaze a lot?
I think the fans want to a little bit, yeah. I mean, you compliment like a lot of shit.
I'm
It's
not
just me and him.
Say,
It's like anything. If I mention Hell Rel, you're gonna just like list off a bunch of Hell Rel. And we know, but I'm saying, like, you know, you're going to list off a whole roll call of Hell Rel's accolades. I do think...
Explosive.
All right. Let me tell you. I've been meaning to say this for a while, not about you, but as a podcaster, it kind of shows, like, how good you are at podcasting if someone can mention the name of someone that you know, have met, have spent time around, or look up to, and you don't immediately use that as an opportunity to kind of like talk about your, you know, even briefly, like
Yourself.
your war stories. Like,
Exactly.
and I'll give it to Joe Budden.
I do it all the time.
My op. But Joe Budden, I see where the other person will mention someone, and I know that like Joe did a song with him. Joe went on tour with him. Joe did videos with him. Joe beefed with him, etc. And he doesn't immediately take the opportunity to acknowledge, like somebody could mention Pusha T. Wait, he didn't beef with Pusha T. Sorry, but who's a good example? Who Joe beef with?
The Game.
The Game. Oh, great point. You could totally start talking about The Game, and Joe Budden's not going to be like, yeah, I remember when me and The Game went to war. Which on the other side
Drake,
of that,
another one.
there is a podcaster on the other side who this was like his number one primary tick. You could never mention someone who they had ever even seen in the club without that person just being like, yeah, like me and him, we boys, we go back, blah, blah, blah. It's like advancing as a podcaster is like getting past having to sort of like go over the fact that you know somebody, which I'll even criticize Vlad for this. If you mention someone to Vlad and Vlad has interviewed them before, he's going to say, yeah, I interviewed them before. And it's like every time it kind of like gets to me because I'm like, Vlad, you're a little too good to be mentioning it every time somebody mentions somebody that you did an interview with. Now, that being said, the fans love conflict, arguments. You know, it still has to like, you know, ultimately they want you, I think, to be on good terms. But if it seems a little too glazed out, yeah, they might take issue with that.
It's just, like, and I get it. Look, at the end of the day, people gonna perceive how they gonna perceive. And ultimately, I'm not going to alter my personality as a human being to the point where I have to not be passionate about things that I think are cool. Like, I know it's not cool to get excited about stuff. I know it's not cool, and people look at it like, oh, you're emasculating yourself to give someone else respect. I'm secure with who the fuck I am, good, bad, and ugly. And I acknowledge people that I think are dope because I like dope shit, and that's why I do this.
I think, okay.
It's a cultural me, right?
So yeah, Adam's balls.
Here's the thing.
It's a cultural me.
Somebody
right?
like me, I do things, and I clearly think the things that I do are good and great and healthy and positive or whatever. But there's a lot of people in the audience who probably think that plenty of the shit that I do is gay as fuck. And it's like, I think those people want to be spoken for to a certain extent. If they start to feel like I'm able to just say whatever the fuck I want and nobody's ever going to challenge it or question it or whatever, which I'm not saying you're that far gone, but I do think that like the average podcast listener wants to see people held to the fire. I'll give you a great example. I was really looking forward to Destiny and Sam Harris doing podcasts together for years. They finally did a podcast together. Kind of a letdown. They agree on everything. But politics, like life, philosophy in general, the Middle East, whatever the fuck it is, they kind of like are on the same page about everything. So it was only tiny little details that they had to zero in on. And that to me made it like, damn, I really look forward to this podcast, but it wasn't really as interesting as I thought that it might be.
But we disagree constantly. Like you like literally were talking about how Drake won for months straight, and like, you know what I mean? Like
I thought he was going to win.
He knew he lost.
well, look, I'm just saying there's like
We both thought he was going to win. I thought
he was gonna
I think
win
a lot of people
but-
thought he was going to win. Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying we've had a lot of debates on this pod before. And at a certain point, do you want to just be constantly arguing with your co-hosts? Like
I don't want to constantly be arguing, but I would say that like an argument, typically when you talk about good content, an argument is kind of going to be better. Like we should be attempting to identify things that we disagree on and emphasize them.
Yeah, it has to be like a debatable topic.
Yeah,
but you just
which is
went
not
back
always
to
easy.
lazy.
Because honestly, if we were to look through all of our
just talking
topics
shit.
for today,
I hate myself.
most of them are not really like argument worthy, you know? And I'm not suggesting that anybody should like take on an antagonistic personality just to make better content. But, you know, sometimes I do think that they want that a little bit.
damn, so I gotta like argue with you guys more. Fuck.
I feel like this is like a common comment from the chat.
No, I think the Lush glazing thing is become a meme that's taken on a life of its own.
Every meme is
Because-
rooted at least in a little truth, right?
Yeah, because I genuinely believe that like that's not what time it is with me. To the point where, look, when you had Pokemon Go homie on, I'm able to chop it up with Pokemon Go homie and really get inside his world and have a seamless conversation. I don't know.
And that's definitely better than a person who would just kind of like check out, look at their phone, just be like,
true.
Pokemon
Who's this
Go, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, who's this fucking dork?
On a podcast,
But
you
you
should be trying to go in the direction of like interest.
You're like
you know?
a hype man anyway, though. No, not like that. That's just like his
he
character.
literally is,
Like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like the wingman for the homie. Like, oh yeah, that's his character. So like it just pours over into the podcast. So it's not really glazing because it's just Lush. Like if you say something about like if Adam says something, he's gonna give you like more accolades on it. Like it makes you feel better
Right.
about what you're doing.
And
That's just your
to be
character.
fair,
you could be ass at something.
I've kind of been on the other side of this because like, you know, at least, especially towards the end of the Custer era, there was like, you know, people saw it. There was like a lot of pods with like, you know, certain hosts who would be kind of like questioning me on certain topics that were like not even close to like controversial.
They just wanted to argue.
Yeah, which is not like that in and of itself. Like arguing is good, but it's like when it gets to the point where you feel like you can't make a common sense statement about reality without like people like going out of their way to basically create content out of sort of like intentionally misunderstanding you, then you've kind of like passed anything good about, you know, arguing on a podcast or whatever. But I was just interested to hear your thoughts on it. I think you should aim to find topics to disagree with me on.
It will not take long at all.
Fuck you, Adam. Look, you want to know the truth?
If I come
hate
in with
you,
a shirt
fuck
and you think it's kind of gay, just tell me.
Well, no.
Not this one. NoJumper.com. Yeah.
What to me the funnier narrative, and I think a lot of people, particularly in the battle rap world, for some reason, subscribe to this. Like the fan base, they're like, you got humiliated by this fool. He marked you out and you were talking all this shit, and then you came and sucked your dick back to get your job.
That's the battle rap framing for sure. Yeah.
Which is so, and also a lot of like the No Jumper or, you know, like No Jumper adjacent inspired podcasts fans tend to believe, but that is very far from reality. Did I wave the white flag, put down my weapon, and realize that I've been acting like a jackass and shut the fucking mouth I should have shut from the beginning? Yes, I did that. You feel me?
They just want some dick to suck too. Like, you didn't tell us you were going to go suck the dick
You
to
should
get
have
back on.
You should have been rubbing his balls.
We should have all went to go suck his dick. You went by yourself.
But you know what? That's on me too, because
dick sucker.
bro, I remember Remo while I was on my honeymoon. I remember Remo, like we were plotting like kind of like nonstop on what we were gonna do content wise and everything for, you know, just to keep the brand going and everything, like what we were gonna do, who was gonna be on the No Jumper show, etc. And I remember Remo saying like, honestly, bro, like you should at least think about like squashing shit with Lush, because that would be like a host that if you get him to come back, it could kind of like make a bunch of the fans feel a certain way of like, oh, okay, like this is what I liked about it, even though obviously like maybe there was other hosts that they also would have wanted on there or whatever. And I remember just having too much pride and just being like, nah.
And then like all the bad stuff I said probably didn't help after that. And
A lot of that happened like after Remo made that suggestion, and then I was like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't. Yeah, but honestly, the cipher too. And okay, if I could replay that era of my life, March 2023, you know what I think I might have done? I might have like gone on the road, just straight up like, let's hit the road for like a month, 2 months, and let's just get the best content we can. Because I feel like when you actually go out and you're like with the people, it's kind of like easier to make great content. Like asking them to pay attention to a bunch of dudes sitting in a room talking about shit, tough ask. Going to Kensington and filming people shooting up tranquilizer, that's not that hard to convince people to do.
Let's try this.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But I don't know. Like I do think there's some value to that. Like I think I should have like really taken myself outside of my comfort zone and completely like revamped what the channel was for a period of time, instead of being like, let's keep the news going, let's keep the Tuesday. I should have just said, fuck it, let's do something insane. But also I had so much overhead in the sense of like, well, I have all these employees in the office. Granted, did get rid of some of them, but it was kind of like, I feel like I have to keep this podcast thing going. Whereas it might have been a better decision. Obviously, it would have been shitty to fire a bunch of people unnecessarily, but to just be like, let's just completely change this shit up. Let's just hit the road and like really,
bro, we would have killed each other.
Make the best content. I'm not really talking about you because you were already out at that time. Yeah, but
I thought you were okay. No, I thought you were talking about when it was still all of us, like with AD, T-Rail, like all.
Hell no, I ain't going anywhere with them.
Yeah. You're saying after the mass.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been cool, but like you wound up landing on your feet somehow, some way.
How do you feel about Custer Immunity World having to cancel their entire U.S. tour?
Well, it's definitely not like look. So,
not a great look.
I have to fart.
I mean, like I'm
kind of picturing what it might smell like.
I'm assuming like they're gonna say they're probably because they
blamed it on Pun. I think Pun like agreed to take the blame for it in the clip that I saw, instead of like addressing it serious at all or like admitting that they didn't really sell tickets like the way they would have needed to go on tour. They basically like, oh, Pun fucked it up. It was Pun, and Pun you could tell like didn't really feel like he was responsible, but felt like he kind of had to take it.
Yeah,
but that's a way better narrative to be like, my manager did a shitty job booking it. Well, that's an easier narrative than nobody bought any tickets.
That's super. It's an L.
I mean,
for
that's
show.
another.
It's an L.
That's saying that in so many words.
It's an L.
They didn't promote it the right way. He did a shitty job at booking. Like all of that sounds like, nigga.
I mean, one person was
ain't
saying in the
tour
Reddit,
time.
and I don't necessarily know if I believe him, but it seemed kind of serious. But they were saying that they work at the venue in Chicago, I think, and they said that they sold 12 tickets, which that doesn't really surprise me. That honestly kind of sounds like accurate. Like that's kind of what I would have expected.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's such an ambitious undertaking, trying to like being a national touring podcast act. Like,
because even
that'd be hard for us to pull
if
off.
we were, I think their first show was supposed to be
in Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what you would do if you actually want to do a live show in a city. You know what you need to do? You need to
from that city
interview people from that city. Maybe go to that city and do shit for free. Do some pop up shit. Do a meet and greet. Do whatever. Like go there, do some vlogs with some artists or whatever, and like lay the groundwork. Like Chicago would be an easy market for us right now. Atlanta would be an easy market because we've done so much with so many different people. I already know I'm lit in those markets. I went to Austin, Texas. I could not fucking walk around downtown because so many people wanted to talk to me. That's when I was like, oh, Austin would be a smart place for us to go because I already know from walking around here that there's no way we're not selling 400 or 500 tickets in Austin because I just walked down the street and had fucking 20 people say what up to me.
But a lot of entertainers suffer from Tupac.
Tupac, break that down.
Where they think that they too poppin'.
Yeah.
And then you like fucking book some shows and you go rock out with like 30 people in the crowd, and it kind of like humbles you.
And that's happened to me. I've been
It
there.
happens. It happens.
I think that was their attitude because somebody was sending me like pictures of some of the venues they booked, and they were fucking small ass venues. But the reality is like, all right, you sell 12 tickets. That's like $200. If you're selling $20 tickets, $240. Maybe you're selling $30 tickets, $360, whatever. That's one flight. You know, the amount of money you're going to spend to go to all these fucking cities if you have to fly out 4 hosts plus the manager.
No, I'm assuming they would fucking have a sprinter at least, right? They're not going to be flying in between every city.
Hell, man, you can't drive between. No, because it's wicked. It's super spread out. On the original flyer, it was like weekends.
Okay,
you know, you go and you do 3 dates or whatever.
Spot dates.
But you probably got to fly between a lot of those fucking. That shit is gonna be so expensive.
Yeah,
spending $400 on a flight for 5 people. That's $2,000 right there. Then, if you don't really like move tickets, you're gonna have to pay for the venue.
Yeah,
you're gonna be in the hole with the venue.
Market that's like demanding. It's not like,
and that's not even including
like
hotels.
You're rapping or doing something like you're doing a live show of your podcast. So it's not even a market to where it's like, oh, everybody wants to go see this type of thing.
Yeah, because that shit people watch on YouTube. You feel me? But if Danny Mullen shows up in a city and he like announces, "Hey guys, come meet me here. We're gonna do a little flash mob, fucking drinking in this field outside of rural Idaho," he'll get 50 people to come through and turn up with him.
And that's free. That's like not
that's
even
free.
Because you got to realize too that especially when you go to these smaller cities and shit, like $30 for a ticket is a big deal.
That's
you
what
know,
it is.
it's not like out here where like everybody seems to have expendable income for no reason.
That's
I don't
why
really
I
know
said
why.
250 for Boosie is like $500K in New Orleans or in Louisiana. You know what I mean? Because literally the cost of living you have to account for.
He's in Atlanta.
Okay, outside of Georgia, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, like, nah, Georgia is starting to hit like LA.
Georgia's going up, but it's still, you get a lot more.
Somebody said, Adam, you keep mentioning Austin. Are you thinking about moving to Texas? That was probably one of the last places I would ever move.
Yeah.
I've lived in Texas and I do like it. It's a great place. But moving there, like, I mean, the comedy scene very much lives there.
That's like
and a lot of touring artists go there.
And,
but besides that,
because it's only 2 things that live in Texas, and that's deers and clears, and I don't see no goddamn antlers on you, boy.
Don't play. Hey, my brother lived in Austin, so I spent a lot of time out there actually. Like, and it's always been. First, he lived in Houston.
Yeah,
and like Austin is essentially a city in California surrounded by Texas.
Yeah, that is pretty much how it feels. Yeah.
You said Austin's a city, what?
It's like a California city surrounded by Texas.
Yeah. Like it's like one of my favorite spots to go.
You drive 15 minutes outside of Austin, you go to the gas station, and it's the most redneck motherfuckers you ever seen in your life running that shit. So but when you're in Austin, it's like non-binary Yuri clones running at the gas station.
When we were at South by Southwest, we booked a Airbnb. I told you guys, somebody was inside of my Airbnb when I got there. It's 3 a.m. We hadn't slept or nothing. We got there like 10, so we didn't go to the Airbnb. We go to like the venues and shit, then go to sleep. So everything sold out. You know this is Austin, so the only thing we could get is like 20, 30 minutes out. Yeah. I felt like we pulled into a sundown town. I'm like, I don't think that this was the right idea.
Bro.
I drove all the way to Dallas that night. I didn't even go inside that room. I'm
really?
Like, nah.
They ain't gonna do shit.
No,
they ain't doing nothing.
Shit, all right. I'm not about to be the one to chance it either. No, it could be the police on freaky time. We got perks, we got lean, we got fucking weed.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he's not wrong either, because literally where I went to rehab when I went 4 years ago was in a town called Manor, Texas, which is like, I don't know, like 30 miles outside of Austin. The next door neighbors to where the rehab was, Confederate flag.
Front yard flying,
like flying high.
Yeah.
Even in Austin, you'll see people driving around with Confederate flags, and it stands out so much because it's such a fucking liberal
city. They don't
city.
tend to fuck with that in Austin, but yeah, you
I've
will
seen
see
that in a lot.
like,
I've seen that in Denver. It's like, you know, but the thing is if you were to have a conversation with a lot of those people, 90% of them,
like the flag doesn't mean that they're racist.
And 90% of them are not going to say, yeah, I hate blacks. They're going to say, it's about tradition. I grew up in New Hampshire, and like, when I was in high school, I never saw any of that. But when I graduated, I started to see people I went to school with who all of a sudden had Confederate flag stickers on their cars and shit. And I'm like, you live 45 minutes outside of Boston. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, there's no excuse. That's what are you supposed to have, the 13 colonies flag?
Yeah,
You feel
but
me?
I
Like,
see
They got that grown white man talk from their grandparents
but
and their father.
they
Like,
just-
this is what we
but that's
do.
the-
they
other
love
side.
that down south ethos, you
Right,
know,
yeah.
like they, and they don't even mean it in a particularly racist way, but
For
it is also kind of saying like, oh, black people have thoughts and feelings on things. I don't give a fuck. We rocking this shit.
Well,
you know?
like the argument that it's not racist could be, and by the way, I think that our argument's wrong.
Yeah.
But I know it's wrong.
But what do
it
you-
could be applicable if you're from the South.
Oh
If
yeah,
you're from
down
up
south.
there- yeah.
What about Andre 3000 going on stage at the BET Awards wearing a fucking jumpsuit with that shit? Like, I mean, if you're from down south, I can't really like hate on it the same way because that's
He
where
wanted
you come
you to
from.
remember that.
And
forever.
exactly.
Black
I was just
people
saying-
don't
But there's a
believe
lot of
no
people
type
from down south who've been photographed
What
rocking
shit
that
happened?
shit.
No one talked about the fucking Draco the Riddler, Long Live the Truth. You feel me? In the fucking Big Bang Uchi's video, he had his the hood of his jacket had like a Confederate flag on
Was
it.
it the Kanye merch?
I don't know what it was.
Because Kanye
but-
was going crazy with that
Yeah,
shit for
yeah.
a while before White
But I
Lives
mean,
Matter.
like, there is probably lineage of the people, because there was a lot of black people that were fighting with the Confederates at the time and could have lost their lives. You know what I mean? They could have had a great grandparent that lost
That's
their
why
life.
Draco
doing
had that though. Probably.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in the South, maybe. I don't know. But, like, we see that, it means, nigga, they
Racist.
don't like niggas.
Yeah.
Period. It ain't nothing else.
Like, and I would notice that, like I told you, when I lived in PA in the East Coast, and I would see Confederate flags and be like, "Yo, like you're repping the losing squad, homie. They're not only the ops, but they lost the war."
But it's
Check
not
the scoreboard.
But
You feel me?
there's all
Like,
these white dudes banging swastikas. They know
Yeah.
they lost.
yeah.
They're still banging it.
But that's like
Yeah.
it's like a slightly different ideology. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it's more of it's a clear cut ideology
Yes.
as opposed to the Confederate flag where everybody's kind of like, what does that mean? We don't really know because it's a lot longer time ago too.
this
Swastika is like recent history in
And
comparison.
they like shifted their focus off of the original target onto black people for some reason.
Yeah, that is true. As
But
well.
like a white dude in prison is gonna get Hitler tattoos and Nazi tattoos, and guarantee if you ask them, they don't know shit.
Yeah.
It's just they know it's some white shit.
Yeah, for sure.
The same way a black dude's gonna wear some like African inspired art on their shirt or whatever. Pretty good chance they don't know what the fuck that shit mean
At all.
But they know it represents being
Yeah,
black.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, what's
hey,
the
there we go.
origins of your
Yeah.
kente cloth? You
Yeah.
feel me?
It's just all that white shit is
don't
representing
know.
like hate as well.
That's what they wear. Like, it's a dashiki, right?
Yeah.
That shit is.
Okay, can I ask you? Did you guys see Spider-Loc walk out on American Cholo?
I did.
Oh my god, you want to see it?
Yes.
I mean, you're gonna like miss some context because you're not seeing the whole thing, but as somebody who's a fan to whatever extent of both of these guys, this was a pretty crazy. I mean, really, like American Cholo was just having like a lot of fun, and you kind of got the vibe that Spider-Loc was just not appreciative
It's
of it.
Basketball, tennis, soccer, football, it's all based about what can you do with your body
Are you a
creatively. No, we are the creators of all.
No,
we
you're
are
not
the-
created. You're playing. You're great at sports, but you're not answering the question. You're talking about how you're a superhuman.
Once
Are
the
you a
industry-
guest? Are
Once
you
the industry cannot,
okay.
once the industry cannot exist,
are
once
you-
the industry cannot exist without your physical
Ooh,
presence.
I got it. Okay.
Once the industry cannot,
Imagine this.
Imagine the NBA with no blacks.
Okay, imagine
the NBA, the NFL with no
problem.
blacks.
Let me know when
no,
you're ready.
No
Let me know when
audience.
you're ready.
No ticket
Let me know when
sales.
you're ready.
I will. Shut up. No.
People could.
Honestly, they're talking over each other so bad that it's fucking insane. And that, like, if you watch more of this, like, I only seen this like 7-minute clip, and he walks out at some point. But the level of them talking over each other is fucking nuts in this clip.
Imagine.
What do you mean, shut up?
You keep asking me to let me know when I'm ready.
Go.
I'm trying to.
Okay, they're both frustrated, but Gil is like happy frustrated, and Spider-Loc is like angry frustrated.
If you be quiet, I
I
will
gotta
be
text it to you.
loud.
I gotta text it to you.
No, you don't. You can't be
I do.
quiet. No, you don't.
You've been off for like
you can be
30
gracious.
minutes. Okay, stop. Imagine. I said stop, but I said shut up. I said stop.
No, but you never allowed me to do
more
it.
respectful.
But you never allowed me to do what you just
You're on a
towards
rant,
me.
fool. You haven't
I
answered.
haven't ranted. You haven't allowed me to complete a thought since I've been here.
Imagine.
You haven't allowed me to complete a thought since I've been here,
we
brother.
have, bro. We have, bro.
You have not.
Oh,
Watch
we
when you
keep
watch
going.
it back.
We keep
Watch when
going.
you watch watch it back. You've yet to allow me to complete a thought.
That's why we got to bring it back to Cliche 93 TV, bro.
Yeah.
This is his home.
Yeah.
Hey, Spider Look, imagine NFL saying, this is a white sport. You're a guest.
Watching it stop existing.
Now imagine every Mexican.
They tried that.
Wait. Imagine every Mexican, an artist say, this is a black rap, this is a black this, don't support us. What's going to happen? Who goes to the majority of these fucking places?
That's not the point.
No. What you mean that ain't the point, huh?
Can I answer?
You can't sit there and say
every
it won't
time you
exist.
get loud and animated doesn't mean I'm not making sense.
No, you
brother.
sat there and said that it doesn't. Imagine if every Mexican did not go to the concerts. What would happen? We'll stop to exist.
Then
We are part of it, bro. We are homies.
Okay, I'm glad the audience can see how much he's bullying my perspective.
I'm a little guy, bro. Hold on.
I don't get a chance to speak. I don't get a chance to respond, react, or anything. There's theatrics. I didn't realize we was in like a comedy show too.
Watch this.
I thought we was
walkout.
coming here to politic.
We are, Dick. Stop, bro.
Dick?
Stop. I say.
See, he
doesn't
called him Dick.
Okay, no, but Dick
He
is
uses the Mexican
Dick is
dick.
a
yeah, that's a
Mexican
very
thing.
like
Come on.
Popular
common.
Mexican slang
Yeah,
term.
come
that-
on, Dick.
It's
You call your best friend that.
It's a friendly dick.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not like you're a straight up
friendly
dickhead.
dick.
It's just like you're kind of being a dick.
He didn't call him a cock.
It's not a.
Yeah, exactly.
But that
Thanks, Bob.
that basically sets him up to walk out here.
I say that in a loving way. When I say Dick to a
Don't
homie,
touch me when you talk about dicks. Please, bro. I'm a real one, homie. I'm a man. I got grown sons, bro. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's too much tequila or what, bro. We lose. Hey, I'm glad to have been here. Black Box Productions, Cliche T3, shout out to American Cholo. We
we're
about
still,
here,
we're still
man.
going. No, we're still going. What's up?
You said what?
So we're still going. We're good after this.
Yeah. So what else? What else you got in mind?
I think after this we'll just wrap it up and see what's up.
Let's say sexy
Yeah, I
foods.
definitely we definitely need to get this going, man. Again, I love the healthy conversation and the topics, the hot topics. Again, I don't know if he wanted to answer as far as what he felt like what's needed to be done to bring the communities together. But yeah, that's what I'm about. I answer. Did you answer?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What did you feel?
As far
I mean, that's basically it right there. My number one thing, if somebody's going to walk out on the podcast and you're controlling the boards, how dare you not show them walking out? The whole point is to show Spider-Loc getting up out of his chair and awkwardly walking out of it.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of a walkout.
Yeah.
And they try to like cover up for it like you might not
No, we're
notice
gonna keep going.
by
We're gonna
immediately
keep going.
switching the camera. They don't show Spider-Loc after that, but you can also tell that Spider-Loc is sitting on the other side of the camera because American Cholo keeps referring to him afterwards. So it's obvious that he's in the room.
Want to leave for real?
But like,
That's not his
Come
homie.
on,
That's
big bro.
not.
that's Spotty Face. He's just
Yeah,
sitting there.
yeah.
And he tries to keep the conversation going as if the most awkward thing possible on a
Didn't
podcast
just
didn't just happen. Yeah.
You know what?
This will start a race war in LA.
This will start.
Poetic Flacco video dropping soon. Just kidding. Poetic Flacco joke. Not a real thing.
They definitely like. He over abused that. I know he heard a Southsider or a Mexican use the term dick and like referring to a friend or somebody close to him before.
I would assume he would if he has any Mexican. homies
Yeah.
in
Like, come
LA,
on,
like-
dig. I was on a sick one, dig.
Yeah, that's like there's no. But I guess the combination of him being called dick while he like touched him, I guess through because like you said, don't touch me while you say dick. That's what.
Nah, it was just the rest of the extras. I think they got to the bottom of that probably.
I gotta be honest, dude. I feel like despite the unprofessionalism of leaving a podcast early, he did like. I feel like Spider-Loc did it in a very professional.
He had
way.
a point though.
Yeah,
Don't forget that he had a point.
he did have a point.
And I'm not. I
Look,
hate
the
to
point-
go
look,
against the grain
no,
or
look.
whatever y'all is thinking, but he has a point. If we, I don't know what the topic was, but if we stopped a lot of stuff, that shit wouldn't exist. It wouldn't hit the same.
So I'm assuming, I think it's a pretty safe assumption that the conversation stemmed from hip hop being black culture and anybody who's
For
not-
sure.
right.
Is a
Or-
yes.
Right.
It sounded like an extension of the like, can Eminem be the best rapper of all time conversation?
He
Because
can be.
He can be, but from my perspective, I mean, okay, we have
Can I
different
be the
ways to
best
be
country
great. The reason
rapper
why
of
it's
all
like,
time?
oh,
Yes.
could you
Gotta
be the best football
coordinator.
player if you were black? Yeah, obviously, it doesn't matter if fucking white people invented it because the way we judge football players is like who scores the most points.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about like who you consider the greatest, I mean, if you want to just judge rap by like who sold the most albums, I mean, is Eminem the greatest? I mean, probably not, right? He's like close to the greatest, yeah. But he's probably not the best-selling artist of all time.
He made it.
When people say Eminem's the best rapper of all time, they're not saying he sold the most. They're saying that lyrically he's the best.
And that look, and although I disagree with that statement, I don't feel like that's a egregious statement to make. You can make a very strong case.
Yeah, because Eminem actually beat the odds. It's gonna be somebody who's it's white men in the NFL, in the NBA that are equally athletic as a black man. It's gonna happen.
Okay, so
it's not gonna happen as much with these certain areas, but it's like, what do you think? How many black men are fucking out accounting or out fucking being a better attorney and all? You get what I'm saying?
Johnny
like
Cochran.
across the world.
Yes,
It's gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen that much. You get what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question, Bricc. Do you feel
Hey,
like?
can I just point out that I'm reading the comments on this, and it seems like the consensus is that Gil was over whooping a little bit.
I mean, in that
He was
way-
interrupting. He wouldn't really let him talk, and he was laughing a lot. And it felt like he was like laughing to lessen the tension. But then the actual effect was that Spider-Loc kind of felt offended and like he was making a mockery
Look,
of him.
I love Gil, one of my favorite podcasters, great dude. In that clip, he definitely looked like he was, you feel me, the aggressor, and he wasn't letting bro get his point off. You know what I mean? I'm closer with American Cholo than I am.
Because he was like,
Spider-Loc,
what if we
but-
stop buying tickets and all that shit? Like, well, I think that motherfuckers will see that they have to do more marketing in the hood to get people in the hood to buy tickets. And don't think that black people, y'all just more organized. We try to go the day of and the show sold out. And usually the young white kids and Hispanics had already
Hispanics and whites do go to shows significantly.
Well, that's
more
like that
than
whole
black
AZ
people do.
Chike conversation that's been happening because AZ Chike posted a video. This is somehow related to this. He posted a video of him performing, and like the whole crowd is Mexican and white and shit, which is not surprising. I think it was in the OC if I remember correctly.
Why?
Yeah,
The OC.
But then like somebody dunks on him on Twitter and basically tries to clown him by saying like, "Oh, I wouldn't even want to be a rapper if my whole fan base was gonna be Mexican and white." Well, guess what? You don't really want to be a rapper then, because 95% of rappers, including the most pro-black rappers you could think of, the majority of the dates that they play, they're playing to Mexican and white kids.
Sure.
Especially in the
Across the
southwestern
world.
United States.
Shit,
Especially
across
here,
the world.
especially in the OC.
Especially, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Unless Drex the Joint is there.
Even
But it's like-
even just Southern California in general.
who's actually Mexican as well.
Yeah.
But you know what? Bun B, I think last year made a statement that his shows are predominantly Mexican.
Yeah.
And his biggest fan base is Mexican, and more Latinos support him than any other race. So
That was the thing that annoyed me about seeing that chick say that in the first place, because it's like, bitch, have you ever left the crib before? Like, this is how every live event is, damn near.
Come on.
1,000%.
Maybe not
never been
Freaknik.
to-
Even Freaknik probably hella gentrified.
I mean, is there,
Now-
Well,
yeah,
it
back
still
then,
exists, yeah.
But it's
yeah.
like, shit, nah, not back then, but like now if they threw a Freaknik for sure, it'd be like some hip ass white boys.
You see some
Nas
Lush
and-
one and Adam 22's in the building.
It would
like-
be Nas in the building at the Freaknik. That's how
Right.
you know it's been a culture.
One time I watched, I think it was JPEG Mafia Pitchfork Fest set that I watched, and I was like, oh, that's the whitest audience I've ever seen at any show ever.
Yeah, Fader
But-
Fort.
and like grown, you know, like, oh, like damn, like y'all are like 30 and white and at a festival. Like Rolling Loud's hella white people, but it's a young ass audience.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's also, we were talking about the Bay earlier. That's what I love about Oakland. You could like do a show in Oakland. It's gonna be predominantly black people, no matter what.
It'd be a lot of Filipino.
Yeah. But it's gonna be like, bro, like
Yeah.
you're not doing a show in Oakland without black people.
But it's also
You
like
go
the
to
bigger it
Mid
gets,
Street.
the more likely you are to have a big percentage of white people, you know? Because it's like if you're going to be really popular, translation, you're popular with like other races and not
for
just
sure.
your like
Well, yeah.
little crowd.
Those
yeah,
kids,
you're
the kids, the
hardcore
white kids from
fans.
Lafayette and Orinda, or
and this
drive
is-
out there. Yeah.
Also, we get to see nigga activities every day. We black. They want to see y'all act like niggas on stage. We don't give a fuck because it's like, all right, my boy going to go perform, or like, you know what I'm saying? It's them.
more
It's like
exotic.
it's a rapper. Like, we don't act like rappers. We want to go see a rapper act like a rapper today. You know what I mean? Like, spill your fucking lean and ice on me. I'm in the front row. You know what I mean? Like,
No, but there is a voyeuristic. Not to like use the word that academics has been using so much lately, but referring to Brandon and Tommy. And,
yeah. Sometimes I just see like Ack learn a new word. Like I'll just hear him say. Like I've watched so much of his shit that I just like can tell when it's like, oh, you never said that word before. But that's a new one for you. Okay.
There is definitely an element of voyeurism to white people attending that makes it more exotic. That probably makes them have more propensity to go to a rap show than black folks.
You know who's got a good vocab? FBG Dutchie.
Does he?
He dropped romanticized and lexicon on me on that most recent
Lexicon's
interview.
a good
I'm a
one.
big word guy. I love Scrabble. I like words. I was like, damn. Those might be like the first time a rapper hit me with those words on it.
I really, you know what? Like I've noticed, like there's a definite thing with rappers that have had a lot of incarceration.
I was about to say, how much time did he do?
I don't know. That's a good question.
The amount of time, the more extensive the vocabulary.
Yeah,
is.
this fool Maz,
It's like, over 10.
He'll be like, and she provided the vehicle. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like what? And J-Bo be on the same shit. I'm like, oh, y'all fools, like really had to learn other words because he was locked up for so long.
It's just crazy though when you're
formative years.
When you're a fucking gangster ass rapper, you can just say so much more shit and get away with it and make it sound cool rather than like I remember when Kanye said like it's a lot harder for me to put a verse together than the average rapper because the average rapper can always just say, and I got a gun on me. Which, if you really listen to rap, a lot of bars basically amount to like, and I got a gun on me.
Yeah, bitch.
And the cat.
If that wasn't tough enough.
Totally unrelated to whatever the fuck you said in the bar before and after, but like, and I got a gun on me. That just sounds crazy to a lot of people.
Blick on me.
Hey.
On days I ain't have shit, I had Blick.
Exactly. We sat on this podcast and talked about how hard that line is. What, you were poor and you had a gun. That's all you're saying. But it sounds hard as fuck. And it's not even like, it's not like anything. Something that only he could say.
Yeah.
It's something almost anyone could say.
After 50 Cent on Get Rich or Die Trying said, I'll kill you. And the literal percussive gun, the percussion sounds in the beat is a gun cocking back and firing. Like, where can you really take things past that point?
Nigga, I ain't playing.
You feel me? Like, I'll kill you, bang, bang. And the sound is a gun cocking and shooting. Like,
Yeah.
No, that's real.
this is hip hop. You know what I mean? Like,
50. This is 50.
this is 50. But honestly, as far as that clip right there, let's keep it a stack. Gil, I would have really liked to have heard Spider Loke's point right there.
Yeah.
But I will also say this. Latinos' contributions to hip hop have been very, very overlooked for a long time.
No, they not overlooked, but it's like if we hopped into any type of like what is that shit called?
Reggaeton.
Reggaeton. Wow, we're a guest.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Got
The
money
one
on
that-
me, got
no, the one from Miami, not Pitbull, but the black dude, the Flow Rider.
Flow Rider?
Flow Rider. He's like in the reggaeton. What? No, he's not Dominican.
That's what I'm asking you.
Just like a pop mega hit maker,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
he's just like a pop hit maker, but he dips in the reggaeton. He's a guest there. Wherever he's at, he's a guest there.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, hip hop, but then Hispanics help create hip hop, I guess. I mean, from the 80s, right?
They did, for sure.
Tariq Nasheed would like a word with you about that.
I'd like to talk to
mean,
him
I
about
don't
that.
know.
He made a
I
whole
don't know the
documentary
history.
about that being cap.
Oh yeah, see, I don't know
it.
the history, so I can't. I'm just like,
Actually, I
but
do wanna watch
it's still like something that we took over, and it's like, all right, cool. You guys are here. It's cool. We fuck with you. We're not gonna say, hey, you a guest, stay in your spot.
Yeah.
But it's like y'all is coming and fucking with the culture that
I
we
like being a
made
guest.
popping. Like,
Like,
like we made it boom. Y'all here. We not tripping. We not gonna say, hey, you a guest. We not fucking with you. But
I could have my own room at the crib at this point. I'm a guest, but I got my own room.
I think the guest word is pretty harsh though. I wouldn't call it a guest.
But
It's
people
like
are
you
so
adapted
used to
the culture. Like
people are
you've been
so used to
adopted.
saying that white people are guests in hip hop, and like Vlad asked me that I think one time in one of our first interviews, like, do you consider yourself a guest in hip hop? And I kind of like hesitated to agree. And his metaphor that I thought was very stellar was basically like, if you go over to somebody's house and you're their guest, do you put your feet up on the couch? And I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, because you're a guest. And I'm like, okay. That's
but,
fair.
But you do put your feet up on the couch.
Now I think that's probably pretty fair to say.
Your socks are off. Like no more Birkenstocks, just dogs barking on the couch.
And I mean, that would be a lot of Hispanic people's argument too. Is like, yeah, maybe black people in general created hip hop, but it's been 50 fucking years. And I've been into hip hop since I was a kid. I grew up around hip hop. Hip hop was everything that I grew up around. I don't feel like a guest. A Hispanic person feels confident in saying that.
I mean, they get more of a pass than Mac Miller, Eminem,
1000%.
fucking Mac Lamar. Like, I could keep going on and on. So it's like why the fuck we giving them hell like that? Like, they here. If they make dope music, they make dope music. If they don't, nobody's gonna listen to it.
I feel like it's very useful for podcasters and content creators and people who've done serious prison time to spend a lot of oxygen discussing, different categories of people based on race. But I feel like when you look at that fucking AZ Jike concert where he's surrounded by white Mexican kids screaming his music at him and moshing or whatever, it's like in the real world, especially with young people like that, they just don't really give a fuck. They're just like, they feel like one enjoying this concert together.
Right.
And it like, that's one thing I thought when I was watching this is like, podcasts encourage people to focus on the micro differences between each other so much. And we saw that during DW Flame's tenure on this podcast, where it's like every day we had to have at least a little bit of a politic about the different brands of Crippin'. And it's just like when you actually get to like young people who are passionate about the art, that shit just does not feel as important.
Well, look. Agreed 1000%. Glazing.
glazing minorities.
Anybody that says that Puerto Ricans weren't a part of hip hop culture from its inception, because I know Dominicans, most of them didn't immigrate until like the late 80s, early 90s to New York City, but Puerto Ricans have been there for a long ass time, right? To the point, like you either didn't live in New York or don't know anything, because Puerto Ricans were there, especially with the other elements, graffiti, breakdancing, from the motherfucking inception. With that being said, Bricc, I really want your perspective on this, most of anybody's. Do you believe that Eminem had white privilege in hip hop culture, or do you believe that he is like had a harder time because he's white?
Nah, he had white privilege. He came in with Dre, and he was the only one coming like that at the time. It wasn't like a space where you could upload videos to Instagram and YouTube whenever you wanted to. So it was like he was the chosen one. He was the white boy that broke the barriers and got to Dr. Dre. And what they made was like, okay, I'm co-signing it, and he's white, and he got a gun on him.
And I got a gun on me.
And he's white. So it's like, you know what I mean? It was the first time we ever seen a white boy really deliver like
good raps.
Yeah, like that could be in competition with a black person's songs. Like
Because the Beastie Boys weren't competing with fucking, you know what I'm saying, Big Daddy.
Nah.
I think he had like privilege and anti-privilege. Like obviously there's a shitload of people that didn't want to take Eminem seriously, but then at the same time, obviously there was like a nation of kids who were eager to have him be their favorite rapper because they identified him with him so much.
Yo, mom, let me get this Master P CD. Ghetto dope.
Yeah.
Let me get this Eminem CD. He's white.
Let me get this Eminem CD that is literally about him killing you.
Way worse.
Yeah, his mother.
Yeah. But they rather that. They were at a point in their life where they wanted to kill their mom too. So it's like,
that's the problem with
kill my mom.
That's why his innovation was so important, is because black people had never had the balls to talk about killing their parents. And Eminem came in, set that shit off.
And this shows another reason why Latinos need respect for their innovation.
We don't have
to kill their parents.
Because Immortal Technique has a song about taking abuse of their mothers to the whole other
Big
level.
fan of that when I was 16. Yeah.
We don't
Have you ever heard
believe
this
in
one song?
life insurance. So it's like we don't, I mean, a lot of black people don't have life insurance. So it's like we don't need to kill our parents.
Well, there's all kinds of reasons to kill your parents, right?
I mean, yeah, but
don't have to
like
be
the
in it
more
for the
I
money.
watch crime docs, it's always something leading back to the money's getting turned over.
Well, yeah, like the Menendez brothers.
I will say that when you watch Tariq Nasheed talk about how basically like Latino people had no involvement in the creation of hip hop, he's not just saying it. He's done a shitload of research and study in order to back up that opinion that he probably held before he had done a bunch of study about it. So I am interested in his documentary because it's like, I don't really understand why that's such an important conversation to have, but
He's done a lot of
feels
research?
unbelievably. Oh yes,
He did?
go watch him on Vlad. Him
what
and
about-
Vlad got into it, arguing about it and shit too.
Right, because the first prominent breakdancing crew to blow up wasn't Rocksteady crew, fronted by a dude named Crazy Legs.
But I feel like you
Were they rapping though?
You
No,
are
I'm
not
talking about
anticipating the extent to which he's gonna. If Tariq Nasheed was here right now, I think he'd body
mark
you.
me
in-
out?
Yeah, because
Sure?
he's spent like a huge. He's like Candace Owens when you talk about right wing shit. It's like she's just gonna floor you because she's got stats on her that are gonna like overpower your like anecdotal feelings. I feel like Tariq Nasheed. I would love to see that debate, but
I feel like I am like the antithesis of everything that Tariq Nasheed stands for. I feel like I am the bane of his existence in human form.
he loves black people. You hate black people.
No, him being pushing the agenda of racial separatism and me being all about everybody coming together. I'm literally like the antithesis of what he's about. He would like.
Will you feel that way if you were downtown and got mugged by 3 young black men?
What, you
At
don't,
the
you,
age
you don't
of,
think I've
like-
ever had negative experience with black people before?
I'm saying at the age of like.
At the age of 5.
14.
So if I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
don't have
like-
an villain origin story that made me hate black people.
But, okay, that is the difference between you and us is that if I get robbed by 3 black guys, there is nothing inside of me that is going to make me go home and start screaming a bunch of N-words and talking about how black
I'm
people are
talking
ruining
about
society.
at 14.
But if you get robbed by 3 18th Street members, oh, Lord, I don't even want to be there in the room to hear the shit that you could be saying about Mexican people. And if you did, I'm not going to, I'll keep your secret. I'm not going to tell Cholo Juan what you were saying about Mexican people. I'm not going to report to American Cholo. But for sure, you would be allowed that.
It's for sure racist.
Yeah, but that wouldn't even occur to me.
Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, at this age. But at the age
Nah,
of
even when I was
14,
young. Even-
at the age of 14,
okay, maybe, yeah,
that's
14,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. If you get mugged at the age of 14 by a gang of black people and you just like,
Well, they mugged my best friend. They wound up not mugging me, and I don't know.
but it's
Yuri
kind
got
of
his whole
like,
camera
I'm
streaming
cool,
set
like,
up, taking
those
about a bunch of
guys
black
are
dudes, I
grimy.
think.
It's fire.
And don't come around the next time complaining about it and then get beat up for complaining too much. Like, yeah, the last black guy was when he robbed me, bro. Hope you're not as dirty as him. Like, shut your mouth.
Nah, fools just ran like these Crips in Venice just ran up on us. We were like fucking 13 years old, whatever. Me and he had a Fat Farm jacket on, so they started pressing him because it was like
Damn,
a nice,
the fat form.
yeah. So.
Damn.
I don't know if I
And
ever
guess
got
what?
beat
He
up by a
doesn't
black dude.
Matt Barnes.
Matt Barth with the Fat Farm.
Good guy. Ooh. I'm looking fresher than Matt Barnes and some Fat Farm eating a chicken parm.
Oh, that chicken.
And now your
farm.
bitch got his dick and arm.
Stroking him off with your one good arm.
Oh, wow.
It got dark in this motherfucker real quick.
Very dark, brother. All right, tomorrow's a big day.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think I need some extra lube for tomorrow.
You gonna fuck your bitch to your verse? Yeah.
If my bitch needed lube, well, hey, though.
And that wouldn't be a very lonely mission if you did that.
Yeah, no, that's a lonely mission.
Tomorrow's the day, man. AMP, watch the fuck out, and them other guys get out the
Fizzler,
way.
you're done. Double XL, I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to call my shot in advance, but I feel like we're going to, let's just check.
Oh no, Lil Tyler.
Fuck double XL. Fuck that. Nah, just play.
I just want to see the views. I just want to see the views from the recent ciphers. So this is, I feel like this is what we got to compare our shit to in one way or another.
This channel's cracking.
990. Yeah, yo, look how bad everything besides this shit does. 997K, 485K.
Yeah.
It was just those two. Yeah, it was just
They
those
skilled
two.
it.
They boosted them. They weren't that good.
Yeah, it's like all like the ones that have the more popular rappers. Like this one has.
Baby Mexican OT and Scarlet.
But actually, I'm shocked that the Bossman Dilla one has half of this one. I mean, that Mexican OT, Skillet Baby, Scarlip, Cash Cobain, and Lay Banks. But then this one has Big X the Plug, Bossman Dilo, and well, this only has 3 artists. So I guess there's like less to be excited about on this one.
Pretty good cast.
She reminds me of Mercedes
This chick,
from No Limit.
I don't even remember.
You mean
her.
Mia X?
Mia X.
Yeah.
Mia X.
Come on, I got you.
Mia X.
All right,
She is like Mia X for sure.
Tomorrow's a big day. Shout out to everybody. Keep an eye on the No Jumper YouTube so you can see what time it's going to premiere at. We look forward to seeing you in the live chat. I know I'll be in there. Well, unless I'm doing a podcast when it comes
Come
out.
back.
Actually, I'll probably do a little break so I can monitor that.
Comment your favorite bar.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in Wack. I look forward to proving you wrong tomorrow. You feel me?
Ooh, shout it. I look forward to that as well. Shout out Bricc. Shout out Lush. Suspect and Flacco did their thing too. Can't wait for everybody to see it. Bow, bow, bow.
Cypher Part 2. Oh, wow.
Yeah.